Okay, we're going.
All right. So this is definitely going to be a little bit of a different beginning of a session, I think. This is our first skip ahead since the prologue chapter, quote unquote. And has everybody kind of familiarized themselves at least with the basics of what was going on in the downtime thread? Like, you don't have to have read every line or anything, but I guess um I'll do like a quick recap. And I could probably work it into actually what's been going on too. Let me bring it up. So we last left off on, I believe, the 27th of March, 3221. You guys had basically just completed an unofficial contract to return the pink yarble to the Zentron City Zoo, and it had been a very eventful day for you all. Many things had happened, but after that, things were just not very eventful for a little while. We've had some investigation going on with people in their day-to-day lives, kind of. There's several things that's going on, but like things have settled down in the warehouse, at least temporarily. Twitch, you sent a message off world. Not going to go into the details of that because you surely know what it is. And whether you shared everything with everybody is up to you. I highly doubt you did. It was kind of a personal message. Akron spent a considerable amount of time in
being Akron.
Yeah, like in cyberspace, tinkering around with things. He finally got his like
Akron,
modified buggy back.
I made some dinner. I got more Instaburger.
Yeah. He probably didn't leave his pressure tent for a couple of days. I imagine you have like some sort of vacuum waste extraction thing for emergencies, and maybe
Oh god.
maybe you were just so engrossed in your work that you didn't even want to leave your pressure tent to use the bathroom. But regardless, nobody really saw him for several days. Akron was very busy trying to put back together the comm server that had been partially fried, and has been running a diagnostic routine on Sarah for quite a while, several weeks. And he's just been tinkering around with things in the warehouse. Like one day, you guys kind of like, I think maybe you guys went out to get something to eat. You left Akron alone at the warehouse, probably not a good thing, and you came back and there are little robots all over the place, little standard cleaning service droids, and there's like a freaking half a dozen of them that just kind of rove all over the warehouse, cleaning it and keeping everything up. He got his buggy back. I think everybody was probably stunned to see it when it finally rolled up to the front of the warehouse.
Was it shiny for the first and last time in its life?
Shiny is a relative term. It's not glossy. It's definitely armor plated, and it's got big outsized tires now. Not bubble tires, but still very, very reinforced tires. He's actually got like some sort of dark plated plexiglass over the cockpit now, instead of just having it open to the outside. And there's just a million different little tweaks on it. Imagine the Millennium Falcon on wheels almost. There's like a little antenna, and this thing is only the same in general shape and size.
You get enough car chases, I think that.
Yeah. I think that was a worthwhile expenditure of a giant portion of your funds. Ray, during this period, amongst other things, has been spending a lot of time in her lab. She, I think every now and then one of you might like kind of look in as you're walking by her room, and you see her experimenting on like a piece of the plating from the Kremvor, or there's like some weird fluorescent blue like liquid in a tube that she's muddling around with, but nothing really gets your attention until the explosion, and everybody comes running, and they turn and they look, and the entire interior of Ray's lab is just covered in pink goo. Ray's absolutely covered in this shit. It's all in her hair, and this was like the first test of the quote unquote bubblegum shell.
Carl standing speechless in the doorway.
Yeah. It was definitely a mess.
It's a success. Sort of.
Wrong voice, Falstein.
Wrong character.
Yeah, that's the crossover line.
Like little is Nicodemus her virtual intelligence assistant in her lab work? Like little Nicodemus pops up on her screen. Okay,
Maybe.
we might have that. Like instead of Clippy, it's Nicodemus, spurring you on to ever increasingly dangerous actions. But yeah, after that first,
Akron always suggests that you can make a grenade if you ever want one.
after that first test, she finally managed to get the shells down, and I think everybody was pretty impressed. Like, this is a very big achievement, and she can make them in limited quantity.
Very expensive.
It took like a full day to clean out her lab, and probably as long to clean out her hair.
Still find bits of goo everywhere.
Yeah. Occasionally, like maybe you're laying in your bed and you realize there's just a tiny bit on the ceiling you haven't gotten to yet that's hardened.
Look around. Oh, there's another speck.
Yep.
There's another one.
Also, kind of occurring during all of this, like Phrixus is coming in pretty much daily to check on you guys, but you haven't had any missions or any security details or anything. So he's been coming around a little bit less and less, just because there's been not a whole lot. Like, apparently he's got like a job on the side for when he's not working with you guys. But things have been floating about the warehouse. I think somebody is looking out of the control room window one day and sees one of the cleaning droids floating by, and Twitch is just out there like cross-legged on a crate somewhere, eyes closed in a very familiar kind of cinematic pose, and yeah. Foster has been working on honing his, or not Foster.
I don't think that actually works that way, because you have to actually look at what you're moving.
This is true. Maybe your eyes are just squinted. Twitch has been working on honing his telekinetic powers.
He's so good that he has one eye closed and the other one almost barely closed. It's the tiniest squint, so it looks like they're closed.
Yeah, maybe you're looking from one end, like one side, and like that's the side that he has one eye closed, and so you think he's just doing it without looking, and you're just boggled. Was there anything else that was happening during the downtime? Marcus has been fairly absent as of late. He's been out and about doing some odd jobs, I think. And he's just been reporting in that he's been getting things straightened out with the license, the security license that you guys applied for. And eventually, a couple of weeks into this downtime, you get notification that you have been approved for I believe it's a Class D Centron security license. It's going to require. I'm trying to find it. I think it's going to require a deposit of 2,000 credits from the joint account to make it official. But it'll last for 1 year, and it'll give you a class. Why can't I find this? Almost positive it's Class D that functions anywhere in the Centron system.
I don't remember where we talked about that. I remember we talked about it, but I know you wrote stuff about it somewhere.
Supplemental rules, no.
It might have been
It's not-
buried in the session things.
Yeah, maybe. It's not entirely important, but I want to make sure you guys know what you have.
I remember you wrote something about it that was like a month ago or more.
Here we go. Badasses Incorporated. Actually, you guys get a C rank license. A D is for individuals. And yeah, if you guys want to go ahead with the expenditure, it's a single 2,000 credit a year charge. I assume you guys think that's a good idea. Basically, the benefits are pretty straightforward. Like, if you're walking down the street, in power armor per se, wielding a machine gun, you're still going to get pulled over by security. But and like,
Okay, I got the license to do this.
yeah,
Sort of thing.
yeah, like you're basically kind of licensed to use it in a limited fashion. It gives you more opportunities to kind of skirt the laws a little bit. It's kind of
I have a question. Are the
mhm.
S-ranked cards like gold plated for the way it looks with the way the letters are colored?
They're blinged.
I don't know. Perhaps I was thinking more platinum, but you can't even really get S ranks normally. It's not something you apply for.
Oh, I know, but I think is it like one of those like, I got the shiny card, bitches. Listen to me.
It's definitely shiny. It might have one of those tiny little anti-static force fields around it to keep it clean, but maybe like that has the unintended side effect of having it be really slippery, and so people are always dropping it.
Hilarious.
And you're also basically listed in the Centron Security Bureau's database as a registered firm, and like this is kind of the biggest deal in that you no longer have to necessarily go hunting for work, or if you do, you have like an official reference. Speaking of references, the zoo vouched for you, and I think you guys also contacted Oliver to have him give like a professional reference as well. It took a little bit of time, and Marcus was heavily involved in that, but yeah, you guys have your C rank license. That happens probably 2 weeks into our fast forward. Is there anything major of your actions that you guys did that I am forgetting? I know there were some investigations,
Yeah, other than
but
that, I think that's the only thing I did.
yeah, that's the only thing. Twitch has been in and out of the warehouse when he is not doing his Jedi stuff, and has been hot on the trail trying to track down the last couple creatures that are still reported as loose. And they're still reported as loose, and he's been running down leads slowly but surely. I think you ran into like a beast that was probably not listed on their wanted thing, like it didn't escape from the zoo. You managed to take it down. Nothing tremendous. And yeah, you've just been kind of scouring the city and databases and trying to talk to people. And I think you've become confident that you're slowly but surely narrowing down where these things might be.
I also tracked down that the rough position of that woman, and also Firestorm, but that I don't think anybody knows about that outside of me. So
Yeah, I don't think you've actually told that to anybody.
Yeah, so that's probably completely irrelevant. But the woman I would have brought up now that I've kind of got a feed on her, so I don't know how we want to deal with that, or if we want to just turn it over to the authorities. Or...
Well, I will get to one last thing before we pick up.
Okay.
I am going to switch you guys all to the news page.
Oh, there's a new one?
Yep.
Oh god, that's the quality up. Now it's picking up.
You can zoom in and click and drag to go through it. I'm basically just going to kind of read off the highlights. The biggest thing, and this is something that even if you didn't have a news page, I would talk about, is it has been determined, at least unofficially in rumors, and then it came out in the news, and this is very big for anybody living on Centron, that the Comet strike was deliberate sabotage. This is just like mind-boggling.
How do you sabotage a comet?
Well, the Centron Security Commission released a shocking report which, among other things, has highlighted intentional sabotage as now the believed cause of the disaster, which took place nearly 3 weeks ago. Centron 5 was struck by a previously unidentified comet last month, resulting in the loss of over 20 million lives. The report indicates that the Centron orbital defense grid was intentionally sabotaged by an as-of-yet unidentified malicious party. It had previously been believed that an error in the targeting arrays of the orbital defense stations was to blame for the comet, for allowing the comet into the planet's atmosphere. There's still kind of like a lot of questions about how it got so close to the planet without being identified, and there's a lot of speculation that more than just the orbital targeting arrays had been tampered with.
Ekron's totally gonna leap up and say, "I knew it!" Because the first thing I thought right after the comet landed was if it could have been a weaponized comet. So he's always been thinking that. His faith has been rewarded.
It's very big news on Centron. Like now, it's people are wondering if it's an attack from another star system or terrorists. The security commissioner for the Centron security board is like facing heavy demand to step down. And yeah, this is a developing story, and nobody's entirely sure how or when this stuff, that whatever was hacked was actually sabotaged, but they're pretty much actually officially pointing the finger at it now, and it's big news in the entire sector. Also fairly, substantial news in concerning Centron. There was a transport that had been declared missing a couple zones over in space, and it had been bound for Hedeno, but apparently it was discovered floating adrift without power on the outer fringe of the Centron system, which is very bizarre because it was not in its route of transport. And the initial reports state that none of the 312 people on the manifest were actually found. That's including the crew.
Oh my!
So that's a big thing that's kind of developing right now.
Which company makes your MES drugs? As Ray glances over at Twitch.
They aren't, right? They're like over-the-counter things that get synthesized?
Well, there's in the bottom left-hand corner, there's Jatara Medical Technologies issues limited MES recall.
Yeah, so Jatara is pretty much the primary medical manufacturer in Sector 14. There is, look, there is another very big medical company that also services Sector 14, Akara Technologies, but they're based all the way out in Sector 3. Jatara is actually like from just one sector over in Sector 12, and it's the primary supplier of medical goods and technology to the outer sectors. So I think I'm pretty sure that this is what he's probably getting his medication from.
Well, if you start to experience any adverse feelings, let me know.
Basically,
We'll
what
cover
they're
some
they're
stuff.
saying is there was some sort of bad batch that went out recently, and it's not harmful for everybody, but it may not fully affect some small percentage of MES users, and they're encouraging people to send their medications back to get replacements.
You're not buying them on the cheap, are you?
He probably was.
Last couple items in the news, and this is all stuff that you're hearing about in just the last few days, probably. And that ambassador that was killed on the planet has been replaced. Certainly not on the planet itself, though.
Looker, huh?
Yeah, that's his official portrait for his office.
Does it typically wear like a long robe so only the face part sticks out?
Probably. Alicia Nova, the inner sector pop starlet, completed her tour of the Arcus sector and had like a huge charity event. She had been scheduled to kind of perform on one of the conservatories in one of the orbitals here, but after the disaster, she decided to actually perform on the planet and use it to raise relief funds for the victims of the comet. That's very big news because she's traveled to almost every sector in civilized space. She's super popular. They've officially called an end to rescue attempts, and it seems like the 337th Centron Classic is still going to begin next week. That's the news. Lot of stuff involving Centron right now. I think there's probably like a blurb somewhere in the system news about like a popular video making the rounds on the datanet, and it's Acheron's buggy chase set to like star metal music, and it's basically gone viral.
Oh, that's great.
People have added more laser effects. Like there's a small segment of the video where you're shooting out the back, you're not visible, but like lasers are coming out the back. And basically people have added like special effects of an entire running gunfight to the entire video.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then there's this moment where it zooms in and it's Acheron's face, and Acheron goes, "No."
So that was where we were, this morning. But where we're going to pick up is on the streets of Centron City. And let's see here.
We're involved in yet another car chase.
Once again.
I was highly tempted. I'll tell you that.
God damn it, Acheron, what'd you do this time?
So,
where are we at? What we doing?
Yeah, you're downtown, or not downtown necessarily. It's very hard to judge where downtown in Centron City is, given it's so huge. But we pick up with Twitch, and the three of you are all, roughly in the same area. Acheron, you're in your buggy. You've got like a compad open, and you are monitoring what is going on. Ray, I think you are. I think you're in some sort of vantage point with your rifle. And Twitch, you are running very heavily You are nearly out of breath, and you have just burst into an alley within visual range of Ray, and there is a rather irate Valorut on your tail.
Do I want to know what I did to it?
You shot it with a tranq dart right in the ass.
Quick question.
Well, I don't have. Well, I do. I have a handgun, so it's fine. I had to lose a dart then.
Don't worry about it, Cloud. Just go on.
Is my comm server in my car right now, or is it in the warehouse? I'm not sure if it was repaired or working yet or not.
It's working.
Okay, I'll probably have it in my.
This is like I think maybe your first field test.
Awesome.
So, I've run into an alleyway, right?
It's right behind you.
You burst into an alleyway out of an apartment building, and at the edge of the alleyway. At the end of the alleyway, is Acheron's buggy, your Jeep, like on the street across from it, and like maybe up on a fire escape somewhere, or maybe in the back of the Jeep, whatever you think, Ray. You have like an oversight of the area. I don't know that you can see perfectly down the alleyway, but you're on Overwatch, and you're running flat out, Twitch.
Okay. Assuming this is your typical alleyway, I want to use telekinesis to pull down a fire escape ladder and start climb that.
Okay, yeah. You're running and you see a fire escape ladder. You pull it down with your mind and wrench it down easily. And Acheron, I think you probably have the best sight into the alley, like just being parked on the street level in the safety of your armored buggy. And like your window is closed and everything, you're just kind of looking out the portholes. And you see a shape just like lunging out of the door that Twitch just came out of. Twitch, you are attempting to climb this ladder very quickly. Can you? I think this is probably going to be an athletics check.
Right, untrained.
Is it really untrained for you?
Not much gets it by default to start with.
Wow.
It's actually not even a class skill.
I think it's like a couple of the soldiers get it,
Yeah,
and
the
that's about
soldier
it.
gets it. I think that's the only one. Soldier and tech gets it.
I just want to see how fast you're climbing this thing.
Let's see, Cloud.
I'm gonna assume it's Dex. So it cancels and goes neutral.
That sounds correct.
Wow, the alarms have started to go off.
5.
Oh no.
So you're climbing it, and you're getting up, but you feel a snag on your ankle.
Just so
And-
out of breath.
Yeah, I think maybe you had been running a little bit too long. You didn't really realize how out of breath you were. And Acheron, you
Why
see this Valorut
Did I
wrap
end
its
up being
its
the one
jaws.
running?
jaws around his ankle and start tugging him down. You're still holding on to the ladder, but this thing is like pulling you down and like ripping at your pants.
Shit.
How close is the
Ray.
Valorant-
Or Acheron, what are you doing?
How close is the Valorant to the ground right now?
It's kind of like maybe it's hopping off the ground to get at Twitch's ankle. So like every few seconds, its back legs will touch the ground and then it'll kind of jump back up at him. But it's at ground level pretty much.
I might flip my charger thing on and just start trying to run it over at flat out full speed.
Charger? Oh, your defense mechanism?
Hit my electric plating on and smash into it.
Oh shit. All right. Yeah, your buggy is thin enough to where it could definitely fit into this alley. You're gonna have to plow through a dumpster and just like plow straight on, but you've got armor. Do you want to attempt this?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I want to. This is again not a targeted check. I want you to roll vehicle land just to see how stable you can make this buggy after you smash into this admittedly large dumpster.
Sounds good. I accept a flat 2d6 with everything the way it works out, so let me roll it.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty acceptable. Ray, I really think you're up on a low fire escape. I think you've learned
Probably,
not to get somewhere where it would take you 5 minutes to get down from, but you have a good vantage point.
On the first or second floor of a fire escape.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like the first or the second. Maybe you're on the stairs between the first and the second floor, and that way there's like nothing between you and the area you're aiming at. And you're lining up a shot on this thing, but it's jumping up and down, and it's really close to Twitch, and then you hear just a roar from down below you as Acheron's buggy just roars to life. You hear the squealing of tires, and it peels into this alley. And Acheron, you place your hand on the side of the console and press
Acheron,
that.
this wasn't the plan. What are you doing?
You hear Twitch sub-replies on the comms. Oh god, not again.
Yeah, Acheron, you thumb down that like satisfying electrify the hull button. Like it gives you a satisfying click, and Twitch, I don't think you're able to really see this happen. I think you're like holding on for dear life, and there's just adrenaline. But
Stop
definitely
holding on
Acheron,
to the metal fire escape.
Definitely Ray can see that there's like electric tendrils starting to roil across the metal plating as Acheron smashes the buggy into a dumpster. It depresses the dumpster. It half crushes the dumpster. There's this loud crash. Garbage flies everywhere, and the dumpster smacks into the Valorut, and the buggy kind of wedges, but like into it itself, and I need a strength roll from you, Twitch, to see if you can hold on to the. This is going to be target. Let me give you your target number first.
Does it give you an arcing electricity penalty?
It doesn't arc.
Oh, okay.
It's not like a
it's
Tesla
not like
coil
going down the street.
No, it's basically like anything that's touching it.
Could be nasty to use in the rain.
Not a skill.
Still waiting to see what happens when I use it.
Yeah, I don't know that this would be an athletics check. This is just more of a can you hold on. I think this is going to be TN 7. 7. So you feel your pant leg rip as the Valorut is ripped from your leg, and you feel like a burning on your leg, and you take a gash to your leg, but it's nothing serious. Acheron, like you're gritting your teeth, and you've been jolted really hard, and you smack into this thing. The Valorut flies, like is tumbling end over end through the air, and Ray, you have just like a perfect seat just see all of this. It tumbles end over end and lands directly on top of the buggy, and let's see here.
It looks at Acheron and goes.
It takes 4 damage immediately, and like you just see it just get electrified, and it flies off of the buggy and smacks into a wall, and it's like it's hard for you to see now. It's behind the buggy, and Acheron, you most certainly can't see it because it's kind of beneath your line of sight. Twitch, if you look down, you can see this thing kind of smoking directly beneath the ladder, and it's kind of twitching a little bit.
I want to shoot it with my dart pistol.
Yeah, so you place a foot down on the ladder, and you take your dart pistol out of its holster, and you just want to shoot straight down.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's like laying, I'm sure, like on its side or something, on top of the car, right?
It's not on top of the car. It's on the ground, like right at the base of one of the wheels.
In front or behind the car. I don't want to shoot it if it's about to be run over.
No, it's like. Are you still depressing the accelerator, Akron, or after you smacked into this thing would you have stopped?
Well, what's the alley layout past this? Like, is there clear, like a clear
You would-
path in front of
You
me?
would
or is it-
basically be pushing this dumpster ahead of you, and it would run eventually into the building that Twitch ran out of.
No, that I would definitely stop at that point.
Okay. I'm trying to think of. I'm pretty sure there was some sort of helpless bonus or something that I came up with. We'll say you can give him a +2 to his AC because he's not totally knocked out. Let me give you his total AC. Total AC is going to be 8 for this.
8. Righto. Plus 9. Nat 1.
Oh man, yeah, you're like you fire the dart and it just like you feel your pistol buck in your hand and it jams. Like the dart gets stuck in the barrel. Like apparently this was not the highest quality pistol that you got from the zoo weeks ago, and it's been beat up since then. And like yeah, your pistol just jams. Akron, you can no longer see this thing. What are you gonna do? It's like obviously at the base of the car, but you can't see if it's in front of you or to the side.
Can I see where I can see there's clearly none of us behind me directly?
Yeah.
In that case, I'm slamming it into reverse and flooring it back.
Okay, so the electricity cuts out. Like I guess there's probably a limit to it. And as Akron's backing out, Ray, you see this kind of smoking form of the Valorous start to get up from the ground. But you definitely have a clear shot.
I dart it.
Okay, yeah, its AC is. I'll give you the +2 bonus for this one as well. Jeez, was that?
Ray
Oh, I
hasn't
thought you rolled
yet.
a 1.
Haven't
don't know-
rolled yet.
Why does the bottom of the list kind of jiggle like that?
When someone talks,
If someone types, because it says blah blah is typing.
Oh, that's really annoying.
So it's a what AC?
8.
That's
That's a hit. Roll your dart. I think we're doing. You can roll your damage first, and then we'll roll duration. Woo! That's some damage.
Duration was 1d3.
Yeah, I think I lowered it to 1d3.
There were 2 rounds.
So 5 per round, and it makes a physical effect save of. Let's see here.
So the Xenosar goes,
It does exactly that.
and it goes thump into the side of the Valor.
Oh, that's not a save. You shoot it like
Nice.
right in the nose, where you know this thing is really sensitive, and you just hear a shriek from this thing as it starts bucking its head from side to side, and it slams right into the sidewall. You're wheeling out of this alley, Akron, and Twitch. You can see this too, and this thing is just like flailing down beneath you. It starts to make a break for the street, but before it can even really get away, it just collapses and it falls over. It's still breathing, but it is definitely out.
Well,
So I start climbing down from the fire escape. No job well done, boys. Job well done.
As you're doing that, you have your AR goggles on, correct?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
Do you wear those, Ray?
I have them ready, so yeah.
Okay. Akron, you get like a motion detected notice, and there's like an arrow pointing up. Do you look out of your newly acquired sunroof?
You know what? Instead of looking out directly, because I have a feeling what this might be, I'm going to just raise my laser pistol up to the sunroof and look through that as I'm
Okay.
getting out of
Yeah,
here.
that's cool. You see like the faintest blur of something leaping from the building that Twitch is climbing, to the building that like over the street, over the buggy, and onto the roof of the building that Ray's fire escape is leading up towards. And like you see for a moment, like a pair of like wide membranous wings.
Oh boy.
Guys like to congregate.
I'm definitely going to be
I
sharing that
start
bit of
swapping for a
information.
tracking round.
Yeah, so you alert everybody
Looking
to that?
looking at the feed from Akron.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to be definitely reporting that I think I've ID'd a Glacier Beast.
Yeah, you guys
God, what's with these
had
creatures to being in the same place all the time?
you guys had tracked the Glacier Beast here, and I'll tell you this now, Twitch. You had found the Valor route, and it was by accident. You had been hunting the Glacier Beast. It seemed maybe the Glacier Beast was hunting it. But yeah, it's disappeared onto the rooftop of the building that Ray is on the fire escape on. And Ray, you're loading a
tracker round now.
a tracker round. You don't have sight of it. Are you gonna climb up the fire escape?
Yeah, I start climbing up.
Okay, so Twitch, you see all this happen. Do you jump back down to the street?
Ray is on a different fire escape than I'm on, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like at the end of the alley.
Okay.
I think.
It's not the end of the alley. You're across the street. Like,
Okay.
The alley leads to the street, and then you're across from the street. Like, kind of imagine a T junction almost. What are you doing, Akron? It's pretty clear that even with your impressive vehicle mods, you can't drive up a wall.
Does it look like the other creature is down for the count right now?
Oh yeah, it's like on its side. Its eyes are closed, and it's just kind of breathing on the side of the road.
In that case, I think I'm gonna pop out and finally get to use my ice chest. Actually, I'm gonna head immediately into the trunk as soon as I pop out and retrieve it from the trunk and proceed to dump it on myself.
All right, can you describe to us what the ice chest contains?
Right now, it's got a few Instaburgers and soda in it, but it's also loaded with a lot of the freezing nice ice, basically, that's stored inside that I've just dumped all over myself along with a whole bunch of water. So now I should be fairly cold.
We see the bag come out, and it's called InstaFreeze Mark III. Guaranteed to stay cold longer.
Pile of burgers probably
Guaranteed
hanging around my
to keep
feet.
your burgers cold all
Yeah,
week.
there's a little pop-up on your AR goggles, Akron, and it shows your current temperature, and it starts dropping a couple degrees.
As soon as that happens, I'm gonna start following Ray up to the top.
All right, so everybody starts bolting up the fire escape, and this is like a 5-floor thing, so it's gonna take definitely a minute or two for everybody.
Can I roll athletics?
Yeah, if you want to really get up there fast, you can roll athletics. We'll see. If we want to get an athletics check from everybody, we can see just how fast everybody gets up there.
Righto. Can do.
Is that dex based or strength based in this case, or endurance based?
What do you guys think climbing stairs would be? I'm thinking it's endurance, like con, but I could be persuaded.
I'm thinking if it's really tall, it would be con, or if it's like a short ladder, it would either be dex or strength.
It's 5 stories.
I think that's more of an endurance challenge at
Sounds
that
like
point.
con
So.
to me.
Yeah, so roll with con.
Oh, why am I rolling 20? Whoops, hold up. Nope. My bad.
Akron got the hell up to past that ladder. Holy
Wow.
crap. We need a cartoon sound effect as he zaps up the side.
And that 5 was your roll, Twitch?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so
Yes, another 5.
yeah, Twitch, you're getting to the ladder, and Akron like beats you right there, and he starts just shimmying up as fast as possible. Like you have no idea how he has so much energy, and he's dripping wet. His hair is dripping, his clothes are dripping, and
I know
he
why
smells
he's
like
beating
Instaburgers.
me. He's not the one who's just been running from one for a block or
Yeah,
two.
yeah. So like you're having a hard time climbing because you're I'm coming, guys.
We just
And,
dealt with that one. Why does it have to occur now?
Ray, you slam in your tracker round, and you're like, let's get down to business. This is what I've been waiting for. And you're getting to the fifth floor, and you look down, and as you're hearing a clattering, and Akron has managed to like catch up to you virtually.
Looks at him like, damn, didn't think he could move that fast.
Yeah, and so Ray and Akron both emerge onto the top of the roof at the same time. Twitch, you're a little bit behind them. When you get to the top of the roof, you don't initially see anything that looks like a glacier beast. There's obviously some futuristic air conditioning units, as well as some solar panels and some things. So your line of sight is not totally free. And then you also see like the buildings around you. Many of them are a little bit taller, many of them are a little bit shorter, but several of them nearby are roughly the same height, and they all have kind of obstructions on them as well. And you're just scanning the area right now.
The second we hit the roof, I want my laser pistol out. I'm gonna flip that motion sensor on.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately be feeding everybody the motion data to the AR goggles.
Okay, so everybody, like, are you guys just holding there and just looking?
Yeah, I'll get my laser pistol out. I'm gonna just do a slow scan of the area looking for it.
That makes sense. How about you, Ray? Are you basically tracking with your gun because you don't see any target to shoot?
I glance around and I see the biggest cover is the air conditioning unit, so I run for the corner of the air conditioning unit and go around the corner with like gun ready to fire if it's there.
Yeah, you don't see anything behind it. Akron, your motion tracker tracks Ray to the air conditioning unit, and right about now, Twitch, panting and heaving, like levers himself up onto the top of the roof. You get like a boop 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 as he finally climbs up, and then he stops next to you.
Are there buildings that are taller than us?
Yeah.
I look up.
You don't see anything moving around there. You have like 3 or 4 buildings around you that are of roughly equivalent height. A few that are taller and a few that are shorter, and they all have some obstructions on them. On your AR display, Akron, you just see like a ... scanning for hostiles.
I'm going to ask Sarah to filter movement from our team out of the motion tracker to see if we can focus on what potentially could be the Valor route. Not the Valor route.
The Glacier Beast?
The Glacier
and
Beast.
Glacier Beast.
And remind everybody that our payday will be bigger if we can take it alive.
Are there like any is it heavy enough to leave markings in the ceiling or the roof or anything like that?
If you look down, give specifically onto the roof to see if you can find tracks. Give me either a perception roll or a survival roll, whichever you want.
They're pretty much the same either. Okay. 8.
All right, you're like, I think you start working your way back towards your group, who's just kind of sitting there crouched on kind of the edge of the building, just not breathing, almost like just taking in all the surroundings, looking for any sign of this thing. You move over there with your rifle raised, and you're like looking at the ground now, and you see definitely some disturbance in the roofing, there seems to have been some like clawing, where just about where you think this thing might have landed.
I reach down
And-
and I pick up a little bit of it and I go, came this way, as I rub it between my fingers.
The concrete.
A little bit
So-
of like concrete or asphalt powder.
So Ray rubs a little bit of torn metal between her fingers, gets a slight cut. It came this way. And her eyes tear up just a tiny little bit as she continues to try to look badass. Yeah, and you see like the sign of another set of claw marks on the eastern side of the roof. The roof. It looks like maybe something dug in for a second.
So it,
Maybe it jumped.
no, it is.
It must
known
have jumped to the
lie.
next building.
Yeah. So you start scanning the other building, and Akron, do you follow Ray closer?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay pretty close to Ray, and I'm gonna be definitely scanning the ceiling and the higher altitudes fairly frequently. 'Cause
Mhm.
That's where I'm looking for an ambush from.
You get the occasional bit of motion from below you, in like the floors beneath you, but it's more than one signal.
No offense,
And-
Ray, but not to be too sensitive about the subject, but how much do you weigh?
Oh, 170-ish? I don't know how heavy an average human female is.
Not that heavy, but maybe that heavy with all your equipment.
Yeah, I have all this equipment and stuff on me, so it's probably like that.
Would you
That
say
sounds
you
right
weigh
if you're
less
talking
than
fully loaded.
660 pounds with your equipment?
Yeah.
Yes, less than that for sure.
Right as they're having this conversation, Akron, you're sweeping your gun across the eastern building again, and you hear boop 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 boop, and it seems to be coming from a like behind a large array of solar panels on the other side of the roof.
The building across from us is lower or higher?
Like 2 feet lower,
No, it's not by a lot.
but it is roughly 15 feet away.
15 feet, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can probably get you two over there, but me, it'll probably take a bit longer.
You hear the like the sound of the motion detector go off again, boop 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 boop, and it seems to be slowly making its way like across the roof. You still really can't see it.
I load a bubblegum shell into my shotgun.
What's the we can't see anything on the other side of the roof, and it's how far you said 15?
It's like 15 feet separating the two buildings.
Definitely
Can
can't jump that.
Can I scale the power back on my laser pistol so it would be more of perhaps a deterrent than lethal straight up damage? I'm not sure if that's possible or not.
Yeah. If you want to make me a post tech roll,
No. Sorry,
we can see if you do that.
sorry, Star. But as far as the bubblegum shells, are we treating them basically like the slugs as far as flight performance goes?
What's the difference? I'm thinking probably yes.
The shot is 1030. The slug is 5075.
5075. Okay, so yeah, you managed to dial down your power, but you're not sure by how much.
That sounds good.
What are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, obviously, if I've ever
Akron. Where's the beast?
I'll
Can you
have
detect
to
it?
I'm gonna tap my goggles and point the gun directly at where it is, and hopefully give you guys a clear idea of where it is pinging.
So this little red charting thing goes.
Yep. I think on the side of your goggles, Akron, you're getting like another kind of text message, and it says, "Target not acquired. Recommend ambush tactics." And like you see like a slight wireframe diagram of the building ahead of you, and like it starts to like say like it starts to actually pick up a piece of the Xenodex entry for the Glacier Beast, and like somewhere on your belt, Ray. I don't know that you notice it, but your Xenodex kind of activates silently, and it's actually reading from the Xenodex, and it says the Cavaran Glacier Beast, and this is all reading in text on your goggles, Akron, is known for its ambush of larger creatures from high elevations, and it is known to remain still for long periods of time.
Ray, would you be keen on ambushing the ambusher with its own tactic?
Would be interesting. How would you suggest that, though?
I have been training my telekinetic abilities. I could perhaps lift you into the air above it, and you fire the shotgun down.
Ray just goes a little bit pale.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad.
Hovering over a 5-story drop, looks over the edge
It'd
a
be
little
over
bit.
the roof over there, outside of its jumping range, but... No? Okay, well, do more traditional, I guess, then.
So what do you guys do? It seems like it's willing to kind of stay over there,
I
unless
look
it has a
around
reason to move.
at the other nearby buildings. Is there one where I could get an vantage point on this creature?
Roll a luck save. That wasn't really how I described it, but it's possible that there might be some slim. Nope.
I offered you
there-
a really
there's-
good vantage point.
There's definitely one that you could get a vantage point from, but like the other one, it's too far away.
Alright, Twitch. Lift me up. See what happens.
I hand you the shotgun with the bubblegum rounds loaded.
I look at you like, how am I supposed to handle a shotgun and the ZXR at the same time?
It's a one-handed. Well, okay, whatever. I lift Ray
It's
into
a-
the air,
it's a two-handed
assuming she's
weapon.
less than 660 pounds,
Damn.
and try to maneuver her above the Glacier Beast.
No, Ray is just totally the ultimate lord ass that you never thought.
So you're like,
I
you're
don't know about this,
flailing.
Twitch.
You're flailing through the air just slowly as you're rising inches from the ground.
I look like I'm using a jetpack, Star.
Almost. I don't know that
Uh.
Twitch's motor, like fine control, is enough to where like it's. I think maybe you kind of tip a little bit every now and then. And he has to right you, and then he starts to move you out across the roof and over empty space. You're getting like the occasional blip Akron from Ray, but it seems like the motion has subsided from the other side of the solar panels.
There's no completely safe way over to the other roof. I'm guessing.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to get down into a nice kneeling, braced firing position against some sort of a raised part of the roof and watch this through my laser pistol scope as close as I can.
So Twitch, are you maneuvering Ray onto the other roof or over the other roof?
Ideally, I'm trying to move her above whatever it's hiding behind so she can fire down upon it.
Okay. So the way these solar panels are arrayed, they're wedged. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, like a solar array on a building before, but these things aren't like just a wall. You can kind of picture it as almost a lean-to, except one side
They're
is
probably
kind of open.
underneath Then they're probably like, I'm assuming they're like.
It's
Stacked
in
in
a
rows where it'd be
shaded
difficult to get the
area.
angle.
Yeah, it's like it seems to be underneath these things. You imagine it might be quite cool beneath that compared to the rest of the environment.
You think you can get a shot, Ray? You want me to put you down on that side? Probably get Akron over there too.
Set me down and then take Akron over. These panels look like they probably provide a lot of cover.
Very well. I set her down on the edge of the on the edge, over there on the other side.
Ah,
Okay, it's like, your turn.
that was a
Akron.
little bit harrowing.
Akron's going to regret badly the lack of
So
his,
as soon as Akron, you're like a few inches off the ground, you get like a red text message on your AR that goes,
Oh,
warning,
boy.
warning, unknown gyroscopic error. It's like it just like flashes like like
Falling?
geosynchronous
Question mark. Help.
geosynchronous data unclear, and you start getting warnings flashing the entire time that you're floating off the ground, and it's very clear that like it's trying to label like threat, danger of falling, and as soon as you like hover out over the space between the two buildings, you're just getting constant messages like warning, imminent
Altitude.
danger.
Oh my god. Yeah. I'm gonna definitely try to communicate that to reset and recalibrate in like 30 seconds or whatever.
You
I
do this
anticipate I'm
audibly?
gonna
Okay.
land.
And yeah,
I'll do
you
it
you, you
audibly.
you land kind of knees shaking on the other roof, and you're there right next to Ray. On the other roof, it's there's two banks of solar panels. They're both facing you, so there's kind of a glint, like a not a glint, like kind of a glare. You imagine that the other side of the solar panels must kind of overlook the other side of the building, and it's almost kind of like a perch or like a little lean-to to hide in. There's also an array of air conditioners and then like an access hatch to enter the building. How do you proceed? Your motion
Probably gonna
sensor's not
ask
picking
Twitch
anything up.
if he has any knowledge of cryokinesis. I'm guessing he probably doesn't.
Who? What?
I've never heard of such a thing. If it's not exactly, if it does exist, it's not a commonly available power.
Akron's gonna curse under his breath and then.
So Ray
check his
motions
body temperature.
Akron to go right, and should go left.
Oh boy.
Can I check
All
my
right.
body temperature? See how I'm still doing?
I will be
Still,
set up
pretty
where
cold?
Akron just
You're-
was with my bubblegum shotgun.
You're like maybe 1 or 2 degrees, like not even that. Like maybe you're a degree cooler than you normally would be. You've been sitting around on top of this roof having conversation for a while, so it's kind of
Yeah,
evaporated. And yeah, you guys both start to make your way. Are you guys trying to be sneaky about it? Like doing 1 foot at a time?
Watching
Okay,
the
give
where
me
we
stealth
think it might be.
rolls from both of you.
Oh.
Keeping my my
It's
laser
still-
pistol kind of prepped towards the center while I'm walking to keep tracking for motion.
Got a 6.
How about you, Akron? 5. All right. So, Akron, you round the corner of the far right solar panel array. I didn't think you would kind of go in between the 2 solar panel banks because you might not be sure exactly where it is, and you wouldn't have a whole lot of room to maneuver there. So I'm kind of picturing you going around the other side, and Ray, you move to the left side, which is much closer, and you kind of post up against the near the solar panel. You're breathing for a few seconds. You've got the dart rifle lined up, and you slowly start looking around the corner. And Akron, you're doing the same thing.
Sorry.
And you don't immediately see anything, Ray, but on the corner of your AR goggles, you see Akron's vision, and he turns, and in his vision, there is a crouched down glacier beast just a few feet away from him, and it seems to be like on all fours, its tail curled about its legs, and it's like looking directly at him, and there is a low, like, alien-esque growl emitting from it as Akron's like panning around with his pistol.
Akron, dodge! And I take a shot at where. Can I see it all from where I'm sitting, or just out?
Yeah.
I see it. Out
Yeah,
of
like
Akron's
it's
vision.
not moving. It's stationary. So you
Do I
can
actually see?
I yell at Akron to dodge and shoot in the ass of a truck around.
okay. Roll to hit. AC is 8. That's a hit.
Right
Holy
up
So-
the ass.
You smack it, and Akron, you hear dodge. How do you react to just dodge?
Can I actually? I'm not sure. Is everybody sharing their feed right now? Can I actually see this thing through Ray's eyes?
No, you.
Okay.
She doesn't have like a a setup like you do, and if she had, you wouldn't have any like actual visual like space for everything else on your AR goggles. You can only kind of have one feed at a time.
I was thinking it was like a crappy webcam. But let me see here. In that case, I will. I'm gonna just go with what Ray is saying and immediately try to duck back as fast as I possibly can.
Yeah, so you do that, and you hear a howl from just like a few inches away on the other side of the solar panel, and this glacier beast is struck by the tracking rounds, and it like you throw yourself back expecting it's going to lunge at you, and you hear like a shriek of metal as a claw tears through the solar array, and it howls, it jumps to the edge of the roof, and then it climbs down using its hooks, and like you hear the smashing of glass. Twitch, you see all of this happening from a fairly good vantage point. And it's very clear to you that this thing has fled the rooftop and has entered the building. And you hear a scream from down below inside the building. What does everybody do?
Inside.
All right, so then I shoulder the ZXR and pull a submachine gun and a Xenoball.
Okay,
and start
so
going for, I guess there's a roof access.
Yeah, there's roof access. So you've got your submachine gun and the Xenoball. Akron, what are you doing?
As soon as we're inside, can I actually, maybe even just old school, setting my burning pistol next to it or something along those lines, set off the fire system?
Yeah. Once you get inside, you definitely can do that. You're running across the roof to catch up with Ray, and the whole time you're holding your pistol down towards the ground, trying to track this thing's motion, and you can basically see this thing bursting through different rooms of the building beneath you, and you see motion scattering about all near it, like people running away. You hear screams down below you and crashing. It sounds like it just went through a wall. And you both are running to the access way and getting down into the building. Twitch, what are you doing?
I'm gonna start making. I can't use the same trick that got them over there to get me over there, so I'm gonna start heading down to the ground floor.
Okay. Yeah, you start going down the fire escape as fast as you can. Inside the top floor of this other apartment building, it is just chaos. Actually, no, this is not an apartment building. This is an office building, and you get in there, and you see like kind of glass offices, like that you would see in a typical kind of upper end office. It's not upper end for this planet. It would be for like us. There's cubicles in places. There's like a few load bearing walls obstructing your vision, and you see like the blur of this glacier beast running, like smashing through a glass wall and just tearing through a cubicle as it's like desperately trying to flee, and like people keep screaming and stuff around it, and it seems to like be urging this thing on. Ray, your tracker is keeping up with this thing, and letting you know where it is. Akron, as soon as you see the scene, you go and try to set off the fire alarm.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of fire suppression they have, but my hoping is if it drops the
Yeah,
temperature,
Akron.
it might make everybody harder to see.
Good
for
thinking,
this
Akron. Get people out of the building.
Well, I'm thinking it may camo everybody, not just us, as well as potentially, like you said, getting
So-
people out of the building.
So Akron puts, you have your thing on low setting, and you just fire it up into one of the sprinkler systems. Like maybe you fire it just to the edge of it, and
I'm gonna just try to light the ceiling on fire right next to one of the
Yeah.
detectors.
yeah, and a few seconds later the alarms start going off, and this clear chemical mist spray starts spraying down. It's somewhat cool, but yeah, it starts like inundating the building, and you can hear like alarms going off on the other floors as well. What do you, Twitch? You're almost down to the bottom floor. You're climbing down the fire escape. What are you doing, Ray? Are you gonna dive in here and try to track this beast?
breakneck checking the beast.
All right. It dashes.
It's like we're playing Evolve. The beast has been found. Chase it.
Yeah, it dashes into like the other half of the office building. Like it goes through what looks like a break room. You want to dash after it? Like there's beleaguered office workers everywhere. I think you crashed through the remains of a cubicle that it had basically run through already. You run through the break room and you see people like just standing there with shock and horror, like what the hell is going on? And you see like the long tail of the glacier beast whipping around a like the corner door of this thing. Akron, what are you doing as this is happening?
That fire alarm's up. I'm basically right on Ray. Have my laser pistol at the ready if
right.
needed, and I'm gonna try to stick right to her.
As you're
See if I
running, like 100 orange boxes just start popping up on your AR, highlighting every person in there temporarily as like analyzing threat, no threat found, and like moving on. Twitch, you've made it down to the bottom floor. You hear alarms going off in this building, and you see like a couple people start to clear out.
Guys? Okay, I think my odds.
We are after the beast.
Yeah, you chase it, and like you chase it into a primary hallway. And this is like the elevator banks of the building. And you see like somebody desperately pressing the closed door button on the elevator. Like they're seeing this glacier beast running at them. And it seems like it's making a break for the elevator.
Brace some machine gun rounds at the legs of the creature. So theoretically, it wouldn't hit the elevator, but
okay.
Maybe it causes it to trip.
I will point out you have a Xenoball that you would point out that was in your hand.
Am I in range of the
Yeah,
creature
you're in a building. Like
I don't know
in
what
a
the throwing range of a Xenoball is.
It's roughly
Alright,
the
I'll
throwing
try
range
Xenoball
of a grenade or a baseball. Like you could throw it down a hallway.
That's primitive, right?
Yeah, but the other thing is like shooting this thing in the legs. It might get its attention.
I'm gonna try Xenoball first, though.
But Xenoball is like if you can hit it, that seems like I'm just pointing out that you said yourself you have it in your hand, and it seems like a much more tailor-made way of at least slowing this creature down or possibly stopping it.
If that fails, I'm probably already be in the process of lining up a shot to fire on it with my hopefully non-lethal laser pistol. Crossing my fingers.
Alright, I'll try it. So I get a
I think AC
0 with that. So it's just whatever the AC
for
is.
anything with a grenade, I think is 9. I'm double checking to make sure it's not 10 though.
I think it is 9.
Yeah, AC 9.
Nope. Well.
All right. Roll 1d10.
Capture the guy instead.
2 meters, not bad. And then roll 1d8. Wow, that's the case of a 1 actually being really lucky. You overshoot this thing. You overshoot this thing, and it explodes 2 meters in front of it, like between it and the elevator, and the Xenoball like goes off, and it pops open in midair and releases this cloud of white like webbing that just like slams into the floor, and just like you've seen the Xenoball used in action before, and it totally surprises this thing. And I don't think it can stop entirely. Like it tries to stop, and it basically ends up stopping like with its 1 foot in this thing. But you've definitely like surprised it enough to where like it is reared back and is not running for the elevator anymore. Akron, you see all this happening.
think I will try to put a follow-up shot into it, hopefully with the laser pistol.
right.
Hopefully it won't kill it.
All right, roll your shot against AC 6.
And I get I think a 2 bonus total on the laser pistol.
1 for laser, and then
1 for dex, I think, right? I think that's what it was. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Yes, you've got a 2.
Excellent. Sorry, still shaky on the AC
It's
20
fine.
rolls. Let me roll it here. Oh God!
So you fire, and it like skims this thing's wing, and it like shrieks and it turns around, and it doesn't have eyes. It's got like a mouth full of fangs, and you remember that this thing sees in thermal radiation, and it's got 4 arms that each have like a long hook-like claw on the end of it, and it spreads those out, and like it looks like in an attempt to look intimidating, and then it starts like pouncing towards. You don't know if it's Akron or Ray. You're both standing kind of in the same place. Twitch, people have been flooding out of this building. Are you running in?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I think my odds are pretty bad going against the flood.
Give me. Let's see here.
I don't know why, but the scenario is kind of reminding me, making me feel like we're playing Ghostbusters.
I'm not gonna make you. I'm not gonna make you roll to get through them. There's not one door. This is like an office building. There's, I think it's like a corner
I'm not worried about
entrance.
the door. I'm worried about the stairs everyone are coming down.
Well, one, like as soon as you get in there, you see the elevator banks, and one opens up, and this guy like tumbles out, and he says, "My God, it tried to kill me!" And he's like scrambling on all 4s, trying to get away from this elevator.
I want to stop him and ask what floor.
He says the 5th, and he's just like, it's this human guy. His hair is wild, and he's scrambling away from the still open elevator.
I want to get into the elevator and push 5.
Okay, so wait, I've got music for this.
Oh, you actually have elevator music.
Elevator music.
I know I have music for this.
So, Akron and Ray are fighting for their lives on the top floor.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on.
That's awesome.
I'm looking. I know I have this. All right, we'll get to that in a second. You climb into the elevator. I want to hear what's happening with Akron and Ray. This thing is diving towards you.
I'm
now.
shoving Akron out of the way.
Oh, okay. So you're just going to kind of selflessly try to shove him back into the break room?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Okay.
That's gonna take Akron by surprise.
Yeah, I don't like, if you're surprised by this, I don't know that you would be like fighting against it.
I think I'd probably be so surprised by this, I probably wouldn't be fighting against it. Especially
Yeah.
since he was seriously considering using Ray for cover about 2 seconds before that happened. That will definitely surprise him.
So you are fighting it or not?
No, I'll let her push me out of the way.
Okay. This thing slams into you, Ray, and like it like at the last second it lowers its long body and just like charges into you with it. What is your AC?
5.
Okay. All right, yeah, it smacks headlong into you, and it bulls you off your feet, and you are hit with like the tremendous force of this thing. It's not huge, but it is really, really muscular. Only 2 damage though, and you end up you're sliding across the floor, and you're you're sliding across the floor. You're barely managing to hold on to your equipment. Akron, you've been hurled into the break room.
Can I make a luck save to see if one of my Xenoballs fell next to Akron's feet as I got hit?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of awesome.
We'll go with that.
Be amazing. Nope. It would be cool though.
Yeah, that would have been neat.
That's not high.
Do I still have line of sight on the Glacier Beast or Ray from where I'm at on my back?
You can't see Ray. You can see the flank, like the rear half of the Glacier Beast, as like it rears back up, and it seems to be like taking a striking position.
Without even getting up, I'm just gonna try and immediately hit it again with my laser pistol right from my my newfound on my back position.
All right, so you're just gonna blast away at it. Its AC is 6.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh, it finally actually hit.
Yeah, that's a hit. Roll your damage. But roll it. What is the normal damage for that? 1d8?
Let me see here. 1d6 it says.
Roll 1d4 because you intentionally lowered the power of your gun and never set it back up.
That's fine.
Okay, so you blast this thing like in the ass, and it shrieks and kind of hops back. Ray, it seemed like it was just about to like pounce on you as it did this.
I unload a pistol clip in its face.
Well, we're not quite there yet. I'm getting to Twitch. It is apparently
just noting.
very hard to find classic elevator music on Twitch or not Twitch on Okay.
The link in the channel.
Yeah, everybody go to that for this little scene. And we cut back to this scene of Twitch riding up in the elevator, and like you stop at the 4th floor, and like somebody like it opens up, and we're still hearing this music, but we hear screams out of the 4th floor. And people are all lined up outside of the elevator trying to get back on onto the elevator, and they see you standing there with your shotgun ready,
and just like
and
going up.
They stop. Twitch, do you say anything?
You might want to take the next one.
They just stare at you.
I push the close
after
door
a
button.
you press it like awkwardly a few times, and the elevator eventually closes, and it continues up to the 5th floor. It opens up, and there's alarms going off on the 5th floor. There's like a mist going off. There's screams. You can hear the blast of a laser pistol, and directly outside of the elevator, this huge white beast is directly over the form of Ray, looking like it's about to set upon her. What do you do?
I want to try to stick it to the floor for the bubblegum round.
Yeah.
And watch me miss horrendously.
Roll with AC 6.
AC 6. Okay. Go for the miss. No. Yeah.
Oh. We're gonna roll this a little bit like a grenade. Give me, it can't be a 1d8 because it's firing in an arc. Give me 1d5. Don't roll a 5.
1.
Okay. And roll 1d20.
1 again.
Oh my god. Alright. This is so funny. You fire the bubblegum round, and it goes between the Glacier Beast's legs, and it explodes onto the floor right at its feet, between its legs, in just in front of it, between it and Ray. And in Ray, like the bottom of your feet are like at the edge of this expanding mass of pink goo.
Jump back a foot or two.
You want to start scrambling back. Like, you're on your ass right now.
Like,
do you wanna...
she knows what this stuff is. She's like, no.
Yeah, do you want to start scrambling back and just like
Scram
light this thing up?
And I'll scramble backwards and light it up with my submachine gun.
Okay, yeah. You like it's initially sticking to the soles of your shoes. Like, you were within inches of being shot by this thing and pinned to the floor, and it actually jumped back a foot when this happened. And you one-hand your submachine gun and just try to unload at it. Like, it's kind of looming above you. Give me a roll.
AC 6 again, right?
Yep.
My rolls are crap today.
21.
I don't think I rolled above a 3
That's
on
a
anything.
hit. Roll your damage. This could be good.
For the record, out of like 10 dice, I've rolled 7 ones.
He rolled max.
Perfect. Oh my god.
That is
So-
Thanks for taking this thing
the
alive.
burst.
We're gonna switch to Acheron's viewpoint here, because it would be the most interesting. You're still in the break room, and you're only getting like a side view of the hallway, and you don't see Ray and you don't see Twitch. You just see the Glacier Beast backing up, and you just see a spray of blood as bullets start flying through this thing. Its wings get torn up, and then like a couple of bullets roll through its like rib cage, and it screams and it starts flailing about, and it turns and like it's trying to flee. I think this would probably be worse for Acheron, so I want you to roll 1d2 for me, please, Acheron. And don't roll a 1. Okay, so it tries to flee into the break room. Like, blood everywhere. It dives, like, it doesn't even really seem like it's directly attacking you. It's more like definitely trying to flee from whatever this thing is that just like chewed it up. But it's pounding like straight for you, and it's just going to like slap you aside with its claws because you're in the way. What is your AC?
My AC is 8.
Okay, that's all right.
Ooh boy. The horrible music starts as you roll the damage dice. Oh god.
2 damage from its first claw.
Oh damn, more than one claw.
5 damage from the second claw. It hits you with both of its left claws. Like, it just sideswipes you for 7 damage.
Oh god.
How much total health do you have?
15.
Okay, so this is like half of your health. I think Acheron, like, it just slices right through like your clothing, and it hooks you briefly, and it drags you off your feet. And we get this brief close-up of Acheron's terrified eyes as he's actually dragged atop the break room counter, knocking over Instaburgers and coffee cups as this thing is fleeing. And then he eventually slams into the wall, and this thing flees into the room that you guys all chased it out of to begin with. Ray, your tracker tells you exactly where it's going, and you all see it, flee in that direction.
I pursue it.
All right, Twitch, you run in. You see Ray getting to her feet. Ray, do you go after him?
Yeah, I got after it.
Okay, so both
I pull another Xenoball from my pocket as well.
of
As we go. Not ready, but
okay.
so I
All
pull
right.
one out and then chase it.
I will note that this is your only one now.
The only one I got left.
Both of you run into the break room to see this mess. Like one of the ceiling lights has been knocked down and it's flickering. There's a splatter of blood on the wall, and you see Akron wedged against the wall on the opposite side. There's like blood against the wall there, and he's covered in it on one side.
Jesus. Or whatever equivalent there is in this space.
Face Jesus.
Oh, good.
Ashara.
Yep.
Akron's not gonna look too happy, to say the least.
Do either of you like just bolt on through, or do you stay to help Akron up?
Oh, Ray would stay to help Akron.
How about you, Twitch?
Ray's got it covered. I'm gonna chase the beast.
Okay, so you rack like another bubblegum shell and you run after it.
I toss Twitch a
it's
Xenoball as he passes.
It's double barrel, so the other barrel still has one.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right.
Twitch, take this. I'm gonna tend to Akron.
Grab it as I pass.
Akron, you cough a little bit, like maybe there's a slight bit of blood. You're not mortally wounded by any means, but you're not feeling great at all. Do you let Ray like try to help you, or do you just scramble on after it?
I want
You
to
know
stick
what?
him with a painkiller.
I'm gonna
For
totally
now.
stick me with a painkiller.
So Akron, like for a
Akron's gonna
second,
mention, now I owe you too, Ray.
for a second, like it seems like Akron might be thinking about going after it, and then you stick him in the arm with the painkiller. He's like, oh, and like you morpha shot him or something. In the other office, the sprinklers are still going off. If you see running through the sprinklers, like we get this scene of the lights are out in this room, but it's daytime, so we have light coming in from the windows at least. But the warning lights flashing from the sprinkler system and stuff are kind of highlighting all of the mist in red light, and it's strobing, and we see Twitch run into this room with a shotgun held high, and the Cavarang Glacier Beast is like ducking behind a cubicle. Like we can see its long tail starting to whip behind it a little bit.
And so we're in like a cubicle office situation now.
Yeah, cubicles kind of everywhere. It's bright on one side of the room where the light is from the windows, but the power is out now, and
God,
it's fairly
Out.
it's fairly dark in one section of the room, and you can't entirely see where this thing is.
Okay. I definitely want to stay on the light side of the room.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have the shotgun ready if it chose to approach me.
Okay.
And I want to walk along the light side, try to get a line of sight very slowly. So
we don't have any more screaming up here anymore, and it seems like the actual like alarms have been silenced. It's pretty quiet up here, except for like the spray of the mist. And we have this kind of eerie scene of you going through this room, shotgun held up, and like lights kind of strobing in the far kind of corner. In the vague distance, you can hear the noise of the city outside of the building, but it's not readily apparent. And like no longer are there people fleeing. It's they've all got off of this floor. And you slowly start making your way around the cubicle where you saw it disappear and you don't see it there. Are you gonna try to like sneak? Or are you gonna just try to methodically go through and like how are you approaching the situation?
I'm gonna check each one as I pass, but I want to sneak to do it.
Okay.
I'll roll my stealth. Judging by how I've been rolling, probably not that great. Oh, I hit a button.
All right. You don't really know how stealthy you are because it's so distracting in here. You can hear your breathing really loud in your ears, and like you're hoping that you're quiet, and you're crouching low and going from cubicle to cubicle. There's basically kind of 2 or 3 rows of these things, and you're having to work your way gradually away from the light of the windows. All of the sudden, let's see here. All of a sudden, you are kind of filled with a moment of dread almost, and you look to your right, and you see like an empty cubicle. There's nothing there, and you're looking around, and it's suddenly like you're panicked for some reason. Like, you know, you were holding your own, but for like from 1 second to the next, suddenly your heartbeat is racing, and you can't remember how you got into this particular section of cubicles. And then one of them, like out of the shadows, this thing bursts from the shadows, and it leaps onto you, and it just starts tearing into you and ripping your chest open. We flash back, and you're still kind of over by the windows, and your precog ability has activated. You know like the precise area where you were attacked. It's like one corner.
After seeing that, but I will pay the points to refresh it, and I'm going to throw the Xenoball at that cubicle.
Yeah, you basically know precisely where it is now. Roll a grenade toss, and give yourself +1.
+1. Okay.
And the AC is 9.
I've got primitives, so
9 + 2. I missed this one. My God. Okay. 25.
That's a hit. The Xenoball like arcs out through the darkness, and then when it gets above the cubicle, you see like a red kind of ring of laser light kind of scan from it for just a brief second, and then it pops open, and like a white cloud erupts from it, and you hear a shriek, and the cubicle kind of dislodges and starts to crash, and you see this thing like. You see the motion of the glacier beast, but like you can't entirely see it, but you can obviously see its silhouette struggling against the webbing, and it's like it's pinned into the cubicle with the webbing, but it's like it's tearing at it. You would know that the Xenoballs are not incredibly strong. From the break room, both Akron and Ray, you hear this sudden surge of noise and action.
Ray, I hit it with the Xenoball, but it's tearing its way out as I take a shot with the dart
Alright,
pistol.
I give Akron a nod, noticing that he isn't about to die, and I continue on down
All right,
stairs.
so
I'll try to scramble to my feet and ask Sarah to put into aim assist mode, because I'm probably kind of getting some double vision at this point, and try to follow Ray.
Actually, no.
Okay.
I want to reinforce its bonds as bubblegum.
okay, all right. You guys, like Ray, you jog into this room that I've been describing, this long kind of corridor, or not corridor, this long cubicle room with the flashing kind of red lights. And Akron, you stumble in after her, kind of, you know, clutching your side and holding your gun up, and you see a bright flash as Twitch fires a bubblegum round against AC 8.
Nope, miss again. My God.
1d5.
3.
Okay, so yeah, it smacks. Like you fire it, and it hits the right side of the cubicle, and we see this like gout of pink goo just flash off, catching the right side of the cubicle, and then spraying off and hitting the wall and the ceiling, almost like paint for a second. Ray and Akron, you definitely can see where the motion is happening, but it's not very well lit. And there's just this thrashing as this clearly agitated beast is struggling against the webbing.
Well,
Can I throw
what? Were you gonna say throw a thermal flare?
I'm gonna throw a glow bug
Oh,
if I can.
I was gonna say thermal fire just because there's fire retardant going out anyway. It probably wouldn't set anything on fire.
Let me. Glow bugs.
I
There
don't-
has to be a difference between glow bugs and thermal flares.
Glow bugs are like you know, like touch lights. You
Like a
just stick
sticky
to the
light.
things, yeah.
stick on
Yeah.
something, but I was gonna say throw it. I was
Palm-sized
gonna-
disc that can adhere to any non-porous surface when turned on emits a white light illuminating everything within 10 meters for 24 hours. So, you can frisbee this thing, but it's certainly not the easiest thing to aim at because it's not like it's not meant for throwing.
That's fine. I figure it's getting some light in the general area might help in this case. Probably better than me taking a shot in the dark while I'm
Roll
taking
the same
killers.
thing as a grenade throw.
So it'd be what? AC9?
Yeah, AC9. This is primitive or unarmed, rather.
Okay, so I would be would I be -1 then, or
If you're not trained in it.
is it strength based or dex based?
This would be dex because you're trying to throw it like a frisbee.
Okay, so
I'm
it'll
trying
be
to see if
flat
you
then.
just over. You know, you occasionally like you throw a frisbee and this is what happens. You throw a frisbee and you think you're throwing it like perfectly, and then it turns out you held on to it for too long and it just kind of like floats off to the side.
I missed. It looks like it probably did
it's
that
turned
actually.
it's turned on and it floats over the glacier beast for a second and it arcs and it almost hits Twitch. Like Twitch, you have to duck and it sticks to the window behind you like with a thump, and like it starts illuminating the window of all things. Ray, are you tossing a thermal flare?
Yeah, I'm gonna check on thermal flare in this direction.
Okay,
Because there's like a fire retardant mist and stuff, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so I do that.
Um,
It might even blind it. 'Cause
are you going to
it's
try to
hot.
get close enough to it to just kind of toss it, or are you going to actually try to like throw it from a distance?
I'd probably just try and throw it from a distance. Because if
Okay,
it gets
yeah.
anywhere close,
Great.
it'll still light up the area.
Grenade roll as well.
That's 1d8. Shit. How'd I get 1d8 in there?
Yeah, that's fortunately not a D20, so
Still
Aw.
miss. But...
You miss, but roll me 1d 10, and then 1d. Well, just do 1d10. Okay, so yeah, you overshoot it, and it like
By a lot.
I'm really thinking about not making you guys roll to toss stuff like that, but then at the same time you're like, well, why would we have to roll for grenades then? I'll think about that because it seems kind
I
of
don't
lame
mind.
that you can't toss a flare.
I don't mind. You know, if people toss a flare, we miss to their flares. It makes sense.
All right.
It illuminates a 30-meter range anyway.
Yeah,
so-
it like okay, you still get a benefit from it. You overshoot it, but this thing is now silhouetted. Twitch, are you what are you doing? You missed with your first bubblegum shot. This thing is now in the process of actually extricating itself from the wreckage of this cubicle. It's like it's on all fours and it's dragging itself out.
I want to use telekinetic press to put pressure down upon the top of the cubicle that's on top of it to keep it there, because I don't have another bubblegum shell loaded.
Okay. Let's see here. This is going to be a strength of wills test. Your wisdom / willpower versus a strength roll.
8 for me.
Okay. You push it down on top of it, but like it hooks its claws into the floorboard and it just starts literally forcing its way out. Like these claws are coming in really handy for it.
It's like no.
Yeah. It's dragged itself free of the wreckage and it is now standing up.
Right? Shoot it with your gun.
I lace it with submachine gun fire.
Okay, yeah, fire. Akron, you wanna fire as well?
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and fire. Figure if I
Okay.
miss, at least I'm not.
Give me
full
attack
power.
rolls from both of you. That's a hit from Ray. AC is 6. That's a hit from Akron. Okay. That's an 8 from Ray. How about Akron? Oh, Max. Oh, God. So this thing turns into
Looks
gelatin.
at Twitch. The thing looks at Twitch menacingly and then just vaporizes.
Yeah, like it's crawling towards you, Twitch. Like it's successfully crawled out from underneath this thing and all the webbing, and you realize that your power can no longer contain it, and it starts to stand up, and it's just got like eyes solely for you, except it doesn't have eyes, and it's like you feel its breath on you and its stink, and then all of a sudden a full burst of machine gun or submachine gun fire in a really thick coherent beam of light hit this thing in the side at the same time, and all that's left standing is its legs and its tail, and they kind of wobble there for a moment and then they fall over dead.
Well, that's done.
You okay over there, Twitch?
I'm fine. Kind of. I fall over and collapse.
Background's probably gonna go over, kind of inspect it for a second, and then also collapse.
Yep. So I think we end scene here with eventually the rescue department like bursting onto the floor and like surrounding like where the where you guys are, like they're here for a fire, and they see like the remnants of this creature that's been partially exploded, and then you three kind of like laying near it, and yeah, you that's where this scene ends.
It's kind of like, sorry, just we're trying to get people out of the building. This thing was in here. So
so mission complete.
Success.
Well, we didn't capture it, but still.
Well,
The
Give me
Vorax
30
that's
seconds,
down
my
below,
keyboard's
alive or
being
dead. We
funky
probably
again.
overtranked it.
it fell asleep. We'll find out if it died or not.
Well, the scene's over. That's why I'm asking.
Akron, you still here? I think
Can you guys hear
stepped
me?
away. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix my keyboard real quick. My
Okay.
my key's broken again, but I am here. Absolutely. Give me just 1 second.
You can just drive out and buy one for like
It's
10
broken.
bucks.
What's broken on it, Victor? You said it's broken.
He has
a lot.
keys that aren't working. And I have to take a brief break. So
All right.
Be a good pause moment for
Yeah, this is-
5-10 minutes.
This is a good 5 to 10 minute break here.
All right.
So what's happening is my my P and my 2 brackets just keep cutting completely out on me. It's only been happening for the last couple of days. It happened a while ago, and then it got fine, and then it got all screwed up again.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut the recording here and
All right.
start another one. Actually, no. I'm just gonna write the time down. I'll cut it out.
3 o'clock on the dot.
But yeah.
We can continue, but Foster and I are eating, but we keep going.
Yeah, we're gonna, as you can tell by the music, we're gonna be continuing the warehouse right now. It's been a day, and that's all that's been required with Ray's medical touch and Akron's fortitude to get him back up to snuff. He wakes up kind of sore the next day, but otherwise fine. And yeah, you guys can mark down that you have successfully captured the Valorut and killed the Glacier Beast. Let me head over to the Xenodex real quick so I can tell you.
You ready to add the money, or do you need me to do it? Either way, it works well. I know you were doing it before.
Bob was doing it.
One of you can do it. Glacier Beast dead, 6,500. And that's without the split or anything. You guys can do that. That's 6,500 for that one. Let me know when you're ready to continue. Okay. And the remaining Valroot captured alive, 7,000.
Do they still have a breeding pair, or are they all male?
Um,
I had 3.
They have a breeding pair. Technically they're siblings, but they're male and female. I do wish to bring up before you deposit that, before you divide that up. Akari was not here for the last session, and he's not going to be here for this one, obviously, and he's not going to be here for the next one. It is entirely up to you how you guys split that. Don't feel obligated to split it 5 ways. Certainly, Phyrexius was not here for this one, but he's kind of a member of the company, so I don't know how you want to play that. But I would not feel obligated to pay for people who are not present for an entire mission. That's entirely your decision as a group.
What do you guys think?
It's fine.
Yeah, I guess we give him a share.
Okay.
My O is 1 now.
Alrighty. I
A
marked it down
total of
on
675
Marcus's.
credits. Sounds good.
And I have updated Marcus's credit number. Alright, so it's the next day. You're chilling in the warehouse. Phyrexius has shown up. He heard about your recent action and returned to duty, as it were. And he brings everybody the customary Carthan dozen of freshly baked donuts.
He should, since we paid him too.
Yeah. Well, you guys chose to give him a stake in the company.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so you've it is entirely up to you what you want to do. There is a message waiting on the terminal that basically just says, like, yeah, your license has gone through, and it basically gives you kind of a listing of officially sanctioned jobs that you could take. But if you're not interested in that, you can do what you want.
Well, is there like a online equivalent of like jobs posting, or is it? I mean, that's just mercenary workers in general.
That, like, you have an official database from the Centron Security Bureau, which is not just mercenary work. It's like it could be everything from doing what you did for Oliver for just like a really limited time to providing like long-term security for somebody's house, or maybe they need hired help for something else. They're pretty official jobs. It should be noted that anything through the Centron Security Bureau is going to pay a fairly hefty sum. They basically kind of expect professionalism, but you get like and they might be occasionally more involved, but like that's what you get for your license, like the access to higher paying missions. You have your standard things like out on like the public message forums and stuff, basically just like putting out help wanted things, and you of course have your contacts that you can kind of scour if you want to do that. Just really depends on what you want to do. Mm-hmm.
Question, because do we want to go after that ourselves, or do we want to give the tip off the police?
Which
obviously
woman?
probably wouldn't pay. The one that got the Lindsay in the trouble in the first place.
Yeah, that one.
Whatever her name was.
Yeah, I think it was not Amara. It was very close.
It really comes down to how concerned we are about the people that they stuck on us. That's a major concern of mine, but at the same time, I'm open to whatever you guys want to do that way. Open taking a job off the board as well.
Yeah, so you like Akron has some leads developed that he could potentially pursue further with hunting down the woman responsible for Vince's like ordeal. But you know, Akron, you also have something that you've been wanting to take care of as well. Do you bring that up with the group?
Are you talking about the firestorm thing?
Yeah.
It really depends if she's tripped the trap yet, because I might not bring it up until it becomes a factor.
Can you explain to the group precisely what you did?
Well, basically what I did was I set up a data slab. I actually spent the money and purchased one, and I rented a hotel room, a crappy hotel room, pretty much outside of the just outside of the warehouse district, and I've rigged my cameras up to it, and I've loaded the data pad with a lot of junk files that look like my files, but have injected them with basically a backdoor. So I'm waiting for her to basically go in and try to steal stuff off my data pad, if not attempt to steal my data pad, and then wait for her to plug the files in on another system. And that's when I plan to kind of go to work on Firestorm.
So you get back and you check your feeds. Tell me very simply what sort of precautions you took in terms of like this whole place is basically wired for like sound and audio, right? But you don't have any booby traps set up aside from this virus that's on this computer?
Nope, I basically put a bunch of junk wrappers around some of my old clothes around the room, and I've just got the data pad sitting there, and I've encrypted the files. So they look like they're legitimate files, but they're just basically garbage dump files that have been injected with yeah. That's the idea.
You pull up recording of like you I think you get like a blinking notification on your compad, Akron, that says like basically that your security perimeter has been tripped there, and you bring up your security feeds, and you have like an up high view of the room. I imagine you placed a camera in like a covert position in one of the upper corners of this room.
Yeah, I think I mentioned the vent in the
vent. So it's not like a great picture, but we see the door open and two people walk in. A rather large human, and when I mean rather large, he's like 6'3", 250 maybe, and kind of a smaller Vurin, one of the kind of cold climate species that you've run into before. And they both entered the room, and they're looking around in this grainy picture, and both of them have weapons out, but as soon as they see that there's nobody in the room, they holster them. And the kind of smaller Vurin is just inspecting the rest of the room, while the big guy goes straight for the computer. And you can hear over the. You have audio, right?
Yeah, it would have been the same
Okay.
cameras I used before.
You hear like pretty muffled like, Cheed, this place is a dump. Are you sure this is the right place? And the big guy kind of like glances over his shoulder. It's what she said. Take a look around. I'm gonna pack up the data slab. And you see the big guy sit down and start getting to work on your computer terminal. He plugs in a comm pad into the terminal, and he does a few things, and he's like, "This system is as messy as the room. Any luck over there?" And the smaller Vurin, he comes back in, like he had disappeared into the bathroom. He's holding up some Instaburger wrappers, and he just throws them down in disgust. I don't know when the last time he was here. Maybe he died of bacterial poisoning, and they took him to the morgue. The other guy just shakes his head, and he says, "How much longer? I thought we just had to pack it up and get out of here." She wanted me to make sure that this was the right one. Can you describe to us what exactly was the program you left, like the virus you left on this computer?
Essentially, I left a backdoor that would attempt to immediately, when it gets installed on a new system, start looking to enable its networking and broadcast back out, so I can remote connect into the backdoor. It's not less a virus and more just a complete Trojan backdoor, basically. And I kind of shuffled it in there so he wouldn't get it immediately once he copies the files. It's not on any of the surface level files. I put it in files that I specifically encrypted, but I figured that anybody that's good enough to done what they've done will be able to break the encryption, and when they do, that's when they'll get it. So it'll go up the chain a little before it trips.
Yeah. Okay. So this is definitely it. She's gonna have to work on it herself. Come on, Muir. The Vurin gives like one last look about the apartment. I think he kicks over just like a garbage bin that's absolutely filled with burger wrappers and things, and just like he kicks it over and it just spills out onto the floor. He follows the big guy out, and the door slams.
Background laughs. He'll probably go back and pick his clothes up and never bother to clean the room when he leaves it.
This was approximately. This was while you were asleep. Like, you were sleeping, I think, during the middle of the day during your rest period. This was while you were asleep, and this was like 8 hours ago.
I am now going to be watching for that my backdoor program to be pinging to see if it's been released somewhere.
All right. So in the meantime, what are you guys doing?
Does Akron tell us of his plan, or is he just...
I'm not telling anybody of this just yet. Once I've tracked down where this woman is, because I'm hoping once I get access to the system, I'll get a little more information about her, then I'm going to definitely bring it up to folks. I want to word it in the right way to make sure that nobody has any moral objections to it.
So if you guys don't know about this, are you looking for a job on the DataNet?
Sounds good to me.
Do you want
browsing the job listing?
Want me to just kind of give you some highlights of what might be out there?
Sure.
All right. There seems to be a small-time job from one Benjamin Campbell. It was posted well over a month ago. Payment is really minor. He's asking for quote, good, honest folk to investigate some recent thefts at one of the docks. His personal note is, somebody has been stealing from my warehouse. I need this to stop. You see another notice from a Histel Fawn transportation service. Payment of 20,000 credits. Crew needed for a freight run to the Utara system. Reliable, hardworking spacers needed. I find myself with cargo but no crew. I need fast hires for an easy job. There's something here from the Janaris Talent Agency. 28K. Provide personal protection during a trip to the Glazar system. A client of ours will be requiring additional security detail during off-world travel. There's something here from Oryx Felon United Insurance. I think this might catch your eye. I think you've actually seen a little bit. You might have seen this in the news. There is a ship that was like a fairly large freighter that was attacked by pirates in the system in orbit of Centron 2, and like roughly 2 or 3 weeks ago, a salvage company won the rights to salvage it, and the payment is 1,000. Like, for this job, it's 1,000 credits. No, 500 credits per person per day. They're wanting somebody to provide technical assistance during an insurance investigation. Knowledge of basic ship systems required, as well as the ability and willingness to physically work. They say that you would basically be accompanying a UFI investigator to conduct an overview of the salvage op in proximity of Centron 2. Apparently they think maybe something's amiss there, like maybe something's being underreported. And there are a few jobs in the lower payment kind of regions just for generic sort of bodyguard work.
Well,
Seems
ship
like a
salvaging
lot of
sounds interesting.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people are trying to get out of system right now. What do you guys think? Yeah, it would. In the technical notes there, it says you would be expected, you would be shuttled out, like that's paid for, and it would be a 2-day trip there, so that would be 2 days of pay just for that. You would be expected to be there for 2 or 3 days if things are going smoothly, and then it would be another 2 days back. At 500 credits per person per day, that's not an unsubstantial amount for everybody. And that would be like directly to your accounts for that one, I think, unless you might be able to negotiate some sort of fee for your company. But those are kind of like the official jobs that you can see without trying to search your contacts or anything. So what sounds interesting to you guys?
The salvaging sounds interesting, but I mean, out of game, he'd probably want to be with us for that one, Akari, because it sounds interesting. I would think anyway, being as he's
Might be a good idea to
in the
stay
ships and stuff.
Stay kind of local until then. I think might be kind of neat to stay kind of towards Centron rather than getting out off planet just yet. Yeah, I suppose that's true. We could be back in short order, so yeah.
You could do that. Ray, I'm going to point out that you remember that you have kind of permission to to conduct like a day's worth of sampling of all the zoo creatures at the Centron City Zoo. I know Twitch, you were wanting to do some investigating into what exactly is going on with this manhunt, and maybe into Tankai. Do you guys think that this might be a great time for that, or do you want to try to see if one of the people you know might have a mission for you?
Well, frankly, as far as Tankai, I don't know where to go to proceed about that right now. That's why I've been sitting there for so long. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. So I'm fine with whatever personally.
You can always seek Akron's help if you're looking for more information about Tankai. I would
Yeah.
Miranda.
Like, you guys have been together for a solid month now. That's actually one thing I need to, I guess, bring up. It will give people a little bit time to think. We're gonna come up on our first thing of monthly expenses, and I guess we'll just take care of this right now.
There goes
So
560 out of my account.
yeah, what do you have that's spending 560?
That's
I
the
share
monthly
the
rent
rent.
for the warehouse.
Yeah, so everybody has to shell out for the warehouse. It was like 2400, 2300?
I have it written as 560 a month, and that's 1/5 of the share.
Okay. So everybody mark that down.
Yep, just deducted it right now.
Yeah, that comes out to 2800. That sounds about right. I think, Ray, you have a payment you need to make for your sister that you can
Yes.
probably easily afford. Go ahead and make that.
Pay 600.
Nobody's renting anything, right?
Other than that hotel room I rented for a week, I actually meant to ask you how much I should pay for that.
Just drop,
Went for kind of a dive. I'm not really sure what the cost would be.
You have the cost of the data pad as well that you paid.
Yeah, I got that out of there already.
drop 70 for the hotel.
Cool. Taken care of. Yeah, I dropped the data pad charge as soon as I put that in there.
And we're gonna have to determine how you guys are actually living. There's basically a chart for your lifestyle, and there's slum, poor, common, good, elite, and peerless, and they all have a cost per day, and we'd basically be multiplying that per month. You have to choose one. I don't think you're living peerlessly in the warehouse. But I don't know. Maybe Akron is buying literally like the most expensive Instaburgers imported from Sector 1.
I would expect it's probably common or good.
What do you guys... This is an individual choice. I'm going to say like the warehouse probably defaults to common, but if somebody is trying to skimp and pay less per day, they can and live kind of a poor lifestyle. That kind of fits with eating Instaburgers per day.
Would
If somebody-
jackets and tech, just like small parts, figure into my lifestyle charges, or would they not? Because if they don't, then I would say that I'd probably be in the poor category almost. But if they do, then that might change that.
Things like in the realm of AA batteries and stuff like that. What sort of like not like a new compad or a new screen for a computer or something. I don't think that would factor into lifestyle. It's more like what you spend on a day-to-day basis. Mostly food, maybe clothing, lodging, stuff like that.
Other than the various straps that I have my electronic gear and hooked up to, which I probably have one set of. I don't think I spend all that much on lifestyle, so I'm not sure what category I should set
I think
mine to.
Twitch will be going with common because we were trying to save some money and we.
Okay, so if you're
want to buy a
going
ship
for
eventually.
poor Akron, poor is 300. Common will be 450.
Weekly? What it was?
A month.
Oh, for the month. You already multiplied it?
Yeah. And how about you, Ray? How is Ray living in this?
Probably common.
Okay, so that's 450 for you as well. We'll figure out if Marcus was treating himself to exotic vodkas or something when he comes back.
I'm definitely not trying to cheese out on the amount I'm spending. I'm just trying to think what Akron would be spending. And
I think also put down for Akron, since it's your buggy, like two. Let me look. Where is that?
Fuel cost?
Yeah. 300 for fuel for the entire month.
And gas got cheap.
Yeah, it's not used for a whole lot. So it like you can basically count that as your expenditures for gas and like oil changes and whatnot. I will point out that 1 credit is worth a lot more in this game than it generally is in like $1 amount. Let's see here. Kind of like a standard meal that you would get from some commonplace is one credit. Like
So it's kind of like a 5-to-1 kind of ratio. Judging real money.
Yeah. So 300 is not inexpensive, but it's also, it's not their primary form of transportation by any means. So we've got that taken care of. You've had the new air conditioning installed, thank God. You're now finally living comfortably in there. I don't know that any of you actually upgraded your furniture like Marcus did. It might be something to think about.
Well,
I don't know.
Furniture Twitch bought was like a hammock, because that's what he wanted. I mean,
okay, that works.
I want something that I can literally take with me if I want to.
Getting ready to flee from the cops at any moment.
I've just got that myself. Pressure tent with probably some inflatable furniture inside it the most.
And Ray probably doesn't really have much furniture aside from her lab equipment. So, what do you guys intend to do? Like, this is the part of the session where player free will comes in, and I occasionally dump you guys off into something interesting at the beginning, but like now you guys have to make a choice. And if you sit around for 30 minutes trying to do it, there's not going to be a whole lot of time left to do it. So
if there's no sign from Firestorm yet, I'm probably going to be checking my contacts for.
I will say that there will probably be. You would kind of guess that there might be some sign within the next day or two, but you can't be sure if it's going to be in the next couple hours. So if you guys want to wait and do nothing for that period of time, you're certainly welcome to. But you don't really know how long it might take. And
I think I might check my contacts and see what they might have too, because I don't know. I'm looking for something.
But the thing is, you haven't told either of your partners about this, so they don't have any reason to wait. Like they're looking for jobs.
I suppose that's true. Yeah, go ahead, guys.
If you want to tell them this, we can easily skip forward until you do get a message. This is out of game right now. You guys got to make a decision on what you want to do.
I guess it depends if they're like calling me over and ask about a job, or if they just pick one while I'm in the room. I guess that'd really come down. Because if they do call me over, I'll probably say I can try to see what I can dig up as well.
What do y'all think of this dockside investigation job?
It doesn't sound like a whole lot to do there, in my opinion. I mean, we could, but it seems really low pay, and it's probably a little bit of nothing.
It is extremely low pay. Like 5,800 credits low pay.
Would explain probably why it's been out there for a while.
If you bring that up to Akron, I'm not sure. Are you bringing this stuff up to him or no? Just so I have an idea.
Are you at the table talking to us?
Yeah, we're at the I got the coffee table. I guess well, not coffee table, but the break room, looking at jobs. Question is, do you choose to leave your pressure tent?
Under the circumstances, I might actually come out just to thank Ray again for saving my ass twice today, or in the past day, and then the medical care.
Ray just shrugs.
Could
It's
always
not a
send
big deal.
Phyrexis to take care of that small job. I'm sure he's more than competent to handle it.
So you want to like subcontract this to Phyrexius? That's an interesting idea.
He
Is-
doesn't.
ha-
It's
Phyrexius-
investigation.
He
though.
doesn't
It's
seem
not-
like the investigative type. He kind of like
You
investigates
say
with
that-
his fists.
You say that, and Phyrexius looks up from the other side of the table where he's got like a donut in his mouth, and he just like looks at you, and he looks kind of embarrassed.
Oh, I didn't even know he was here.
Yeah, he brought you guys
Yeah,
donuts.
he brought donuts.
Oh, right.
He's sitting at the table with you.
Oh, well,
He just shrugs his shoulders like, whatever you guys want. I can, he says, like he actually, he takes your compad for a second to look at the actual, mission details. And he says that he's actually kind of familiar with that area of town. It's not actually too far from here. And, yeah, that's not like too far out of his normal operating area.
would you like to take that on then?
He gulps down one last donut and brushes his hands. You guys have helped me out a lot. I could go check it out.
Well, you're free to voice your opinion. I mean, we're just here looking at jobs. It seems like a bit much for all of us to go on.
It seems easy enough. He shrugs. So
There's
Well, I
also
guess-
there's just the more generic protection dogs. But they could be just as little. What were you said there was one that was what was it 20,000 credits?
the ones that were up that high were all like out system stuff.
Let's see.
What was the highest paying of the in-system stuff? Because I know Victor's waiting on some
That was
things,
I
and
think
I think
that would
Ray
be
probably
the-
wants to take advantage of the zoo, so you probably don't want to leave right now.
that would
the
probably
most interesting job is the salvage job. But
well, that would probably be the best paying one in system. The ones that are hitting out system are obviously much better pay. But this one, you're only taking a shuttle somewhere. I will say that if you guys want to search your contacts, you can. They might have something else for you, but it just depends on who you would ask for.
well,
One second, I'll be right
my
back.
contacts aren't exactly pleased with me at the moment, so that's probably not the best for me.
Well, I could call up Dr. Brashill and see if he has anything special. We pretty much completed his other contract.
Victor's going off to be on the phone.
I guess I'll call up Dr. Brashill and see if he would happen to have any more work for us.
Eventually, I'll probably
We had completed his
approach,
standing contract.
I'll
but-
approach Akron
Mhm.
about the thing of Tankai, see if he knows anything, because as far as I know, there's no local branch or anything like that, right? You said?
Tenkai has like a small office on one of the orbitals. That's it.
They might know something then. Might be a place to check. Because, like, as far as I knew, at least from before, I didn't think there was anything on it, because that's why I went for, that's why I phoned in an order, basically. Not phoned in, but sent an order.
Mm-hmm. I remember telling you that it was there, but I just remember you didn't want to go there because of security reasons.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'd probably want to approach Victor, approach Icron about that kind of thing. Maybe he can find information out about that. As far as the jobs, I personally would like to take the salvage op one, because I mean, we'd like to wait for Marcus, but if he's not going to be here now or next session,
I want to step in here and say, okay, this sounds like what you want to do, but everybody's given me different things. So, like, you guys got to come up with a consensus. Maybe we'll save this sort of thing for between sessions from now on, but we haven't. I don't know. We only get the occasional feedback during the week, so.
Well, I said I was going to call up the doctor.
Yeah. If you're calling,
Yeah, I was calling.
he answers. Oh, Miss Sarazawa, it's a pleasure to hear from
Yes,
you
good
again.
evening, doctor. I hope you enjoyed your having creatures back. I believe we have resolved all of your bounties, so to say.
I heard that from legal. Very impressive work. You cleared, I think, 75% of the creatures that were out there. You didn't leave too much else for the rest of the hunters. You must not be very popular.
Probably not. But just asking, do you have any other? Oh, those Xenoballs came in quite handy. Didn't work as well as we would have
Clever-
hoped against.
Clever little item. I believe Eirik came up with that himself.
Didn't work so well against Glacier Beast, of course. But you happen to have any other work that needs done?
Well, the offer to come to the zoo and conduct your studies still stands, but he pauses. If you're looking for something to do, this would not be for the zoo.
Oh.
Vinsa, Miss Relote is doing better, but and she doesn't really want to talk about what happened. I, on the other hand, don't exactly feel entirely comfortable with Miss Areta running loose. We still don't know precisely what happened. I understand there is a warrant out for her arrest, but as usual, the Security Bureau is not motivated to go looking for her to an excessive amount, so to speak.
Of course, of course. Would you like her apprehended then? Is that what you're asking?
Of a sort. I am not suggesting anything, but I would like the situation dealt with. If you wish to turn her in and claim the reward yourself, that's certainly up to you. But regardless, I would be willing to pay some of my money set aside to make sure that the situation is dealt with in one way or another.
How much would we be talking?
He pauses.
The general ballpark.
Would
Ray roll untrained business?
Yeah. He says, how does 12,000 sound?
That sounds quite good, actually.
How much is the bounty on her?
It's pretty minimal. It's like the standard. We want this person for questioning. It's like probably like 2,000 credits.
I think we could make something work there, Mr. Brazil.
Sound too bad to me. I mean, we got paid what? That's like what we got paid for the Kremvor altogether.
Did I somehow get out of
it
roll
can't
20?
be more
I think
trouble
I did.
than him, right? Well, because we got 17,000 for the Kremvor. I think the original bounty on him was like 12 something.
Well, one second.
Oh, that's me talking too, not Ray. So.
He responds, well, there's a pause after you say that sounds like a goodly sum. I understand that she may not be alone. I did my best to try to find out what happened to her accomplices, if that's what they were, the ones you had that run into at the apartment. It seems most of them made it out on bail, but I have no idea their location. They're not entirely what I'm concerned with, though. I think if you find her, you'll find them, and I really just want the ones responsible.
Of course. Yeah, might be able to work something. If we come across this, we'll let you know.
So that would be
think-
most great.
As Akron said something to us about it, right? Or did he?
Yeah, I think he did.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm sorry, I'm kind of still half here. 1 second, phone call again. I apologize. I'll be back in.
I think we might already have a couple leads on it. So yeah, we might be able to make this work for you, Doctor. I still intend to come visit the zoo at some point, but
Of course. Any time you all are definitely welcome guests of the zoo anytime you wish. I know Eirik was most pleased with your work as well. He didn't have to go traipsing about the urban jungle, as he calls it, searching for things that jump out of alleyways.
Most recently, I've been jumping into office buildings, not out of alleyways.
I heard about that. He says to nobody in particular.
I guess I have it on conference call now.
Yeah. So yeah, the call wraps up.
Yep.
You've tentatively got an offer for that as well.
So I informed the Akron, I guess, if he is off somewhere, about our possible 12,000 for finding the woman and whoever else is with her.
Is there anything you guys are doing in the meantime while we wait for him to get back?
So Twitch, what'd you think of the bubblegum show?
Bubblegum shell seemed to work well, Ray. My aim is a bit bad, and I don't think I ever hit one with it, but we'll have to see.
We'll have to see if I get experience for that.
I don't think I do, the way it's written.
We'll see.
Can't think of anything else I want to do. Yeah, more research. No, I'm kidding.
Did you ever... I don't recall you doing this. Did you ever investigate the Whooper sample?
Did we do that? That's where
We
the shells
did.
came from?
That's what led to the Looper show, but
You only investigated the goo.
That's what he has a
Did
sample
you-
of, isn't
that
it?
isn't that what I had a sample of?
Oh, okay. You didn't get a sample from the Whooper. That's right.
Because I basically just had the goop that was on me because I never actually engaged with the creature, so to speak. Remember, it kind of ran.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the zoo, you probably get a sample of the.
The zoo would probably have another
I'm
sample.
back.
Because he
I
said they
gotta, I
had
gotta
one,
run down in
but-
like 5 minutes and grab the package and run straight back up down my elevator.
Alright.
But I'm back for the second here. So what can Akron help out with and tracking this woman down for you guys?
But you said you had a lead on her.
That I did. That I did. I was wondering, what should I roll to try to narrow that down, Star?
Well, it depends what you are trying to investigate. I gave you a lot of information there.
Hang on 1 second. I'll pull it up. I had an idea what I was going to look up on it. Just 1 second. I think it was in my post, and I just want to make sure I get it right.
It
Pretty
was
sure
under
I-
one of my posts. Just look for a bunch of green text.
a lot of sales receipts and that sort of thing. I was going to see if I could try to narrow it down to figure out which hotel she might be staying in that area, based on the area where she's been making purchases recently. I'm pretty sure that's what the plan was, but I'm pulling it up right now.
Well, the last purchases she made were clearing out her cards, so
Do you show this this log to everybody else?
Yep. I absolutely would
Does-
share
does-
that with everyone.
Does anybody come up with any alternative avenues of potential investigation? If you need the link,
I never read the
I've
actual
actually
entry.
just pulled it up right now.
so-
I'll link everybody.
there it is. It's everything you need is in green.
Actually, I should have been page 2. I should have linked.
Like, yeah, just going over it. It seems like she closed her account on the day that you guys had that firefight in Vince's apartment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking it over right now.
Or at least she withdrew everything from her account.
Trying to think the best way to potentially go about this. How many days ago was this in total? About 2-3 weeks ago, then?
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
Have I been able to find anything on her since? Any blips? Any possible?
Well, you're trying
sightings
to
or-
search through hotels.
Yes. If there's
Give
been anyone matching her description, possibly.
give me a. Wow, this would certainly be computers, but
Anything in the area that would be roughly, and I guess maybe narrow it down to the price range that.
I think maybe the dilemma here is there's so many hotels that I can't let you just roll a single computers roll. I don't think to hack them all.
Oh, that seems completely reasonable.
But I'm not going to make you make 20 rolls. Make a luck check. Oh, that's a success. I think you've hacked through like maybe half of the computers in like one of the kind of surrounding areas where she's purchased things in the past. And you don't get a hit from her credit card because her credit account because she's not using it, but you do find her name listed for like a one night stay. It seemed to have been like the night after all of that happened, so like maybe this was when she first went on the run.
Oh, okay. So if I can get a mapping according to that, seems like a good place to start. I'll pass that information to everyone. Attach it via email.
He also has visited this Nectaris Cafe a couple times, but not recently. Might be worth a stakeout, maybe.
If you inspect the transaction further, it seems to coincide roughly with lunch on one of the work days. And if you find a like a geographical location, it is within proximity to the zoo.
Sharp eye there, Twitch. And yeah, I'm definitely going to endorse we potentially investigate that cafe.
well, she's not working at the zoo any longer. She probably went there from convenience and location.
Yeah. Because she went there 2 days, but then for the next 5 or 6, she didn't do anything with it.
Could be worth a look, or worth a look if we fail our investigation at the hotel.
Do you know what this woman looks like?
Yeah, like darkly tan, kind of like a lightish brown skin. We would know her ethnicity to be kind of Latino, although I don't know that that's a term in Stars Without Number. There's no like Latin countries or anything.
It works for
She's
convenience.
Yeah, she's got dark hair, dark eyes. She's in her early 30s, like maybe 30 or 31. Not bad looking by any means, but not like a knockout. And she just the picture you have, she doesn't show like a whole lot of. She's not like utterly emotionless, but her smile seems a little bit fake.
I gotta run downstairs and grab that package, guys. I'll be back
Alright.
in 1 second. Consider Akron will be pulling up as much information as he can and be on board with an investigation. I'll be right back.
So you pointed out the cafe. Is there anything? Is there a third option that you might highlight? Like, I want to try to get one from everybody, just to see what everybody's kind of thinking, maybe.
I have to go back and look at it again.
I imagine that's kind of how you guys would form a plan. Like, you guys look at it and say, "Oh, well, I think this stands out," or maybe this is a good approach, or maybe you look at this and you say, "There's no clue here."
What is
Maybe-
Red Hot Tarlin Beauties? Is that a video?
I'm sure that's a
that
porn site
is-
or something.
Yeah, that is a DataNet xenophilic site. Like maybe one of you looks at it and says, "I don't think this is the key to finding her. Maybe we have to take more like preemptive action." Who knows?
The transit authorities, is that like a taxi rental, or is it like a subway fee or something?
They cover taxis and cars. You would know, having lived on Centron for a while now, that a lot of people don't own their own cars, but maybe they don't want to like have to deal with a taxi, so they will pay for like a day's rental of a car. And it's like an automatic thing that basically just shows up at their doorstep at the appropriate time. And they kind of have like a pre-programmed schedule for the car where it's supposed to meet them. That sort of thing.
Is there a way to
Do you tag in, like, I'm saying you tag in like your information when you do that?
Yeah, that's definitely something
Could
you see
Victor
personally.
trap it to
That could be
notify
something.
us?
That
I'm
could be
if it-
something. Like you
I'm
could.
interested in these private account transfers.
A little bit harder to get to, Cloud.
Those are both things that could be hacked. He could. She hasn't used the Centron City Transit Authority with her credit account in a couple weeks. If she's using anything, it's with cash or an account that you're not aware of. But you could technically, if you hacked into the Transit Authority,
Tag
build
her
a
name or something.
well, tag her name if it shows up, or build a kind of a location web of where she is driven, like a GPS route sort of. And definitely the private account transfers would be very hard to get in. You would know that that's her transferring her money to somebody else's account. And the account itself is not listed. You would have to basically hack into
Sure,
deeper
it's for
into
privacy reasons and stuff.
Yeah, you'd have to hack deeper than Akron initially got into the credit system to find out who those were actually transferred to.
Hack deeper than what he got, which was like assistant director.
Yeah. Like he's basically, the thing is, when you're looking at it like from the bank side, he's basically been able to pull up what she would see from like her account or something, and it's just like the account transfer number is like just a long sequence of numbers, and it's just omitted from the records. And you would actually have to get into a database that nobody ever actually looks in, like security
The
agencies
banks,
can bring
like the bank's backend databases.
yeah, like it's like you don't necessarily look at a wire transfer number when you're transferring something to
You say
somebody's checking
you're
account
transferring from this account to that
to
account.
yeah, or like you give them a name, but there's an associated tag with that. In this system, it's just the associated tag, and it's kept around for privacy. Kind of imagine like Swiss banking almost. That's very similar to how the system works on Centron. But yeah, like the only way to access these numbers is to hack into the database. The only people that really access them are like the auditors or security bureaus with a high enough clearance that they need information on specific transfers.
Which is not us right now.
No, not a C. That would be like A grade or higher, like city level authority.
Yeah, I also noticed she bought a prescription medication. I don't know if we can get anything out of that, but that's a little while ago. Over a week ago for that.
That could definitely lead to something. Knowing how prescription medications work, like you have to get it refilled. Maybe it's something she needs. That was a purchase made over 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, prescriptions usually come in like a 1 month supply or so. Typically.
It all depends on what she's getting.
This is true.
And again, like I said before, I'm perfectly willing to time skip if everybody's okay with it. Like, if you guys have an idea as to how you might be able to locate her, but you say we're gonna have to wait for her prescription to run out or something, I'm not gonna make you play out that entire week.
It's
Unless
not
you want to.
unless we actually got information what that prescription was. I mean, she can walk into probably any store and get that prescription.
So that's an option. You could potentially go there and try to find out what that was for, or maybe I don't necessarily want to give you ideas, but we're at a point where like we're searching for something to do. You could potentially investigate her apartment and try to find out like what she had. I don't know. Doesn't sound like Akron's back yet.
Her apartment's overdrawn though, so she's probably cleared it out. I would imagine. We could check for clues there, maybe. She apparently may have left in a hurry. She apparently didn't cancel her stay there because it took an automatic deduction again.
Weird. I'm sorry, I was looking at something else. But Victor isn't back yet.
I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Very, very sorry.
So we were talking about potential avenues of investigation. It's just some of them you could do now. Some of them it seems like people might want to wait a little bit in order to find. Like it was talked about, her prescription medication might run out, and there might be some way of finding her with that. But you think like maybe she has another week of it left. I don't know how you guys want to play that. Do you?
We could check her apartment, but I would imagine the police have probably already checked it. But they seem kind of like low key about it, so maybe not.
Akron, you think you can hack the transit authority?
Akron just going to smile and say, "Of course I can."
Your
hack the transit
skill
authority."
set?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to make an attempt to see if I can hack into the transit authority here.
Okay.
She makes a relatively active rental of 50. Do we know what 15 credits would be? Is that like in line with a train rental or a car rental or?
That's kind of in line with a car rental for a full day, like a private car rental. So Akron, you're trying to hack the Centron City Transit Authority. Let's see here. I'm gonna say this is TN. I always come back to demolishing a house with carefully placed grenades is equating to carefully hacking a system. TN8.
Ooh, TN8. Okay, let's give this a
Like it's
cross fingered.
a government system, not like a terribly secure one, but it's a government
It's a
system.
completely average roll in
Oh,
26+2.
Oh, nice. So yeah, you blow through it, and get into the system. What specifically are you guys hunting for?
Information on the make of vehicle that she often
Mm-hmm.
rents slash kind of bugging it to let us know if she would rent another and the name she usually rents under.
Is there a way to tell where it was last used,
Which
where it was returned from?
You can
Where-
definitely see its entire usage history. Like it has, basically, when somebody rents a vehicle, if they,
Like, do the cars keep track of where they were sent?
yeah, it's part of the rentals, like
Software
insurance
package.
policy and stuff, and also safety. Like if somebody is renting one of their vehicles and calls for help, they need to know where it is. So you can determine that she rents a like a standard model grav car, like automated grav car for in-town use. Like she rents it every morning during the week, and
In town being the size of Centron City.
yeah. Well, and she basically has it scheduled to arrive at her apartment at a certain time in the morning, and it takes her to her work, and then it goes to a parking depot somewhere, and it shows back up when it's scheduled to arrive back at her work for lunch or something, and she's driven many times to the Nectaris Cafe, which is not very far away, and like you basically get kind of a map of just the general places where she's driven, and almost all of it is just the same route. Like you see these yellow lines on the overhead of the city streets, basically going from her apartment to the zoo and to a few places in between, like some shopping centers and stuff. One of them is the Omni Mart that is listed, that she purchased some supplies from on the day of the comet impact. But do you like, how much of the history do you want to look through?
Personally, I'd be more interested in basically the last place it went and on the record.
The last place that it went, she had rented a car on the 27th, which was the day that you guys hit the apartment. That one, the 26th and the 27th, she rented cars, and it was not from her normal place. This is after she's kind of disappeared from work. On the 26th, it was rented from Miss Rouleau's apartment location. Like it was ordered to go there and pick her up, and she drove around the city quite a bit, making several unusual stops. On the 27th, it seemed like it was again rented from the same place, and she was one stop was at the Centron City, like, what would this be called? Actually, before I tell you this, Akron, will you, what sort of save is this? Yeah, just give me a luck save.
Sounds good. I hate when the rolling the dice takes forever. Oh, fail.
Okay. Something you get enough to where like you get that feeling where your brain is trying to remember something. You're looking this over. One of the locations is something that you have come across before, but not in relation to this investigation. And like on the 27th that day, it seemed like right about the time where you guys are hitting the apartment, she is somewhere downtown at a financial institution somewhere, like an off-world financial institution that handles like I think it's probably an outlet of the Hedeno Banking Corporation that does most of the sector. And from there, she takes a like she takes a long ride like way across town and goes to the same hotel that that Akron linked to her before, and that was the last it had been used.
I asked Twitch where he thinks the best potential ambush point would be along that route.
I
If we
doubt
were
she's
going to
taking
speak with
that
her?
route. I was more interested into if she seems to be renting cars. I doubt she owns one. I was more interested in the last place she used her account to go. She may still be there.
It was that motel that Akron linked her to, but that was several weeks ago.
I don't remember anything about a hotel.
Yeah,
that
he
was
did.
the first place. You want to? I might suggest we go actually out there and check it out on foot.
I may have missed it in the huge wall of text. I don't remember anything about seeing a hotel.
It wasn't in text. We did it in session just like 20 minutes ago. Akron did an investigation and managed to track down he was hunting for hotels and he got a luck roll and he managed to find one that she had stayed at.
Oh. I remember hearing that, but I don't remember I didn't catch what it was about.
Well, now you know. And now you know how things get missed. People are always saying, I didn't hear that. Well, it was there.
I remember hearing about the luck roll
happens.
and about a hotel, but I don't remember the actual initiation of what was causing that.
So yeah, you've got two points of interest leading you back to this hotel, but it is kind of stale information, possibly.
Well, the only information we have about her is stale information, so.
And again, Akron, something in your mind is kind of bugging you about like one of the locations on her route that last day.
I guess we should make some rounds, as it were.
What would you? Can I make any kind of rolls? Maybe.
No, you failed your roll to remember it.
Oh, okay. It'll just be nagging me in the back of my head.
It would require investigation.
All right, I think we may have to investigate that on the way as well. I'm gonna suit up in my buggy and ready to roll out when everyone else is.
Are you gonna roll out in the buggy?
It's a bit of a noticeable vehicle, Akron. I mean, ours is noticeable too, but yours.
That's a good point, actually. How far away are these places?
I
from the
will point
warehouse?
out that he did mention that it seemed like at least some of the people that had been arrested in that shootout that you guys had been in, like basically the rival, you assume, hunters who shot at you, they had been arrested. Some of them managed to get out because they didn't have prior like warrants. A couple of them are still in holding because they had like bounties on their head. Some of them are still out though, and he did warn you that she might not be alone. And they definitely know what your vehicles look like.
Time to call up Rent-A-Car then, I assume.
How far away are we going from the warehouse, out of curiosity?
20 minutes.
we still within 30 km or no? I guess
You
50
got
km
it. You got it
potentially.
bumped up to 50. I think yes. Like because you boosted the range. Yeah.
Okay, I'll probably leave the buggy in the warehouse then and just try to stay linked up to it.
Okay.
So shall we rent a car then, or shall we utilize mass transit?
It
Didn't
sounded
really
like
care.
Akron wanted to make a couple stops on the way to try to jog his memory, maybe.
I'm
Is that
thinking
what you
we
wanted
should
to do?
probably rent a car because it's very hard to evade people with a mass transit vehicle.
Oh, really? You don't want to hijack a bus? I thought we'd totally be in character for you.
So we've got this conversation going on as somebody makes like a really quick rental. Whoever it is, mark down 15
Just
credits.
think how much of a server room you could put in the back of a bus.
Somebody pays Centron City Transit Authority, which you earlier hacked into, 15 credits, and like 8 minutes later, a hover, like a gravity effect vehicle shows up. It's a sleek number. It's got 4 seats.
I will take the 15 out of the count ledger.
All right.
There's no argument there.
Okay. And you guys all get in. Akron, do you want to try to retrace the steps of this route to try to, like, this route leads you to the location where you want to go? Do you want to try to retrace these steps to see if it jogs your memory about what's kind of bugging you?
Absolutely. I'm definitely going to request that we stop by there, maybe go stop out, take a quick look around.
Yeah, there's
Potentially take some footage.
several places that day that she stopped on the 27th. And one of them, like, you can't even pinpoint which one it was. Like, just something's kind of in the back of your mind. All right. We do you three just leave yourselves? You don't bother calling for Phyrexius or anything. He's
He's
like,
investigating the other
We're just
end.
checking
Yeah.
things out at the moment.
yeah, I think he's gone off to go investigate that job down by the warehouses anyway.
As a reference, he does have our number if anything goes wrong there.
Oh yeah, he definitely does. So you're driving downtown, and by driving I mean like you're having the thing take a kind of pre-programmed route and stopping at like the precise stops that she stopped at. There's like a clothing store, like a stylist that meant for beings with hair. There's
There are
the
stylists for people without hair?
yeah, like it's not the same kind of styling, but you don't want to discriminate, do you?
It just seems strange to me. I guess you'd be like coloring things then, not really styling
Yeah,
hair per
yeah.
se.
Well, this woman does get into, I won't go into that.
There's the banking institution, the local branch of the Hedeno Mega Bank. That's probably the most
See, we totally
wealthy
should've had
thing in the
Phyrexius
sector.
dress up and be bait, but no, we're not going there.
And you pass, through several stops. It's a little bit odd, almost like you're retracing her steps of that day, but the day was like 2 weeks ago. It's kind of weird. 3/4 of the way through, and you're starting to kind of get closer to your objective. Akron, you're looking up at a building, and it's actually an apartment building, of all things. And something kind of tinges in your mind again. Do you want to run this address through your compad?
Absolutely. In fact, I'll probably scan it in and ask Sarah to scan it. If
Yeah,
any
so-
information I can pull up in my pad or the comm server.
She pulls up a list of residents there. and one name stands out. Evelyn Drake.
I remember from where that stands out.
That
Does
is
sound familiar.
the rich socialite woman that you proposed to sell the Pink Yarble to.
Ah, okay.
She apparently owns several floors towards the top of this apartment tower.
I'll probably come over to Ray and say, remember when I was talking about the deal I was going to try with the Pink Yarble and you were on the fence
Yes.
about? And then I'll show him the name of the woman and say, well, this is who we were supposed to sell it to.
It seems if you're like going back through the GPS data from that rental car, it seems like she stopped here for 45 minutes or thereabout and then left. And very shortly thereafter was when she apparently withdrew that money from her account, and it's all kind of around the same time frame that you guys were having that gunfight at the apartment. So do you guys wish to proceed to your final destination on the route, the hotel that she checked into?
Yeah,
I think we're going to
I would think
definitely
so.
make a bookmark of this place, and I'm going to comment that we might want to come back here in a little bit. But yeah, we'll go on to the hotel and see if we can actually find this woman first.
Yeah, seems a little coincidental. You guys travel the remainder of your route and come across a kind of a standard hotel building. It's I think 16 stories. It's fairly big, but it's nowhere near like the size of the Prel that you guys stayed at your first kind of day in Centron City as a group. And it's definitely not like a
The kind of
high-end
place we probably would never stay at again.
Yeah, they might have your pictures on like the notice board over at the Prel, like do not let these people in. They shoot up the place. This is not a high-end location, but it's not like a complete dive either. You guys pull up obviously into the parking. Do you want to get out and
I would imagine
investigate?
we would go inquire about her room. We have that security license now, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to queue up her image on my comm pad so I can project it through the little hollow projector. Have you seen this woman?
Yeah, like, have you seen this woman?
So you guys walk into the front, and there's actually a couple desks. One of them has like help and services over it, and then the other one is check in, check out.
Help and services seems to apply.
All right.
I assume they can all get the same information no matter what desk they're at, but where you're seeing.
Yeah. So you guys make up your way up to the help and services desk, and there
like
is
song
a
called slumming.
Yep. You're not quite in the slums, but it's appropriate. There is a fairly lanky looking Carthan here. Like I don't know that you've seen too many that were kind of this diminutive. It's
Yeah, can't say.
she's a female, but the females of the Carthan species aren't like noticeably smaller. She just seems to be a small individual. And she looks up and puts
He's not
down.
racially small.
No. She puts down a comm pad and she says, "How may I help you?"
We're here looking about information regarding a bounty that was placed by the police recently regarding a.
Oh my.
Yeah. We believe she may have stayed here. Do you know? Have you ever seen this person?
So Akron like holds up his little hollow display of it, and then you hold up like a picture, I assume, Twitch, and then Max scuttles up onto the desk and activates his hollow display and shows like a full rotating 360-degree image of this woman, and the woman's like looking between all three images. She's a little bit flustered. She's maybe yeah.
It would have been roughly a week ago, maybe 2.
Let me see. Do you have a name that I could search for?
It's like, yeah, look it up now. It's Almeda something.
Elmara Areta.
I mixed them together.
You tell her that, and she looks down and like she seems like a little bit nervous that like somebody's here on official business, that like somebody at her establishment has a bounty on their head. But she starts entering it in, and then she's obviously like scrolling back, like she doesn't get any immediate hits or something, and she says, "Oh yes, we had Miss Areta." She looks up and like glances at the photo, like, yeah, that's her. She checked in on the 27th and stayed 5 days, I think. Yes, five days. And checked out. She was staying in room 27.
5 days. So she would have left on the 2nd?
Like April 2nd.
Yeah, I was assuming 30 days. I don't know what the months
Yep.
are in this. And today is...
The 11th. No, this is the 12th now, because Akron had his day of rest.
How much luggage did she have with her? I might inquire.
I don't know.
Do you know...
I didn't interact with her. Do you? I mean, she looks around. She
Do you
seems
know
like
who was on duty at that time? Perhaps she may have mentioned where she was going or something like that offhand.
that looks like she taps into a few things. Kin was on duty. I think he was here. He might remember her. He's not due to come in today, but I can give you his number. I don't know that he might not know how much luggage she had.
Yeah, we'll give that a shot. It's not much to go on, but you know, she may have made an offhand remark or something of that nature. You never know. Can't hurt to ask.
She just looks like she's kind of like trying to help. Do you want to see the? Do you need to look through the security feeds, or?
That would be probably a great assistance if you could do that. I doubt we'll see a lot on it, but you never know. You might find something important.
Well, I can't access them myself. I'd have to get my supervisor, but they could probably take you through it.
Yeah, that seems fine. If you can get in contact with him, it would be very helpful.
She nods and presses like a button on her terminal, and like a minute later, a Riolan kind of comes striding in from the office behind the check-in desk, and he looks up, like he raises himself to kind of like his full height on his little tendril legs, and he looks up. What seems to be the problem?
Hello, sir. Did we get a name for him, or is he just been called? Like, is there like a badge on his or something like that?
He realizes that he hasn't introduced himself, and he says, "My apologies. I am Tiyun. Is there something we can do for you?" He gives kind of like a glancing gesture towards the Carthan.
We're here investigating a resident of yours who checked out about the it was like the 27th, I believe she checked out. The 327. Is it still March, April, May? Are we still doing that normal stuff, or?
This is April.
Yeah, I mean, we're still using like the standard months.
Yep.
Okay, just making sure if I start saying things about March the 27th. We were interested in seeing if you perhaps some of the footage, the video footage of her leaving. Um, we're seeking her in reference to being a bounty placed by the police.
I see. Can I see some form of identification?
Yes, we have a security license.
So as soon as you say that,
is it a badge or?
I think you guys have badges, but as soon as you say that, Max scuttles up and he projects like a holographic display of your actual license that you, like your company, your like small startup company was issued.
Thank you, Max.
And the real one, like he moves back a bit and he's like, oh my, don't see one of those every day. He leans in. Everything appears to be in order. You can come with me back to the security room and we can see about getting you that footage.
I do not expect we will find a lot on it, but you never know. There may have been something that we could see there.
So the other two of you following in with Switch?
Yep.
Akron?
I
Yep,
thank the
I'll
lady
be,
at the desk for her time.
I will be following right along behind Twitch.
She gives you like an eager nod, and you guys follow Tiyun back into the security office. So you guys want to look at like specifically when she left?
To start with.
Okay. Yeah, you find out when she checked out, and you go back to April 2nd. And there's like a security feed of the hallway that she is on, or like her room is on, and you can see it like skipping back and forth trying to find the appropriate time. And yeah, you get an image of her kind of backing out of the door carrying several bits of luggage, and as she makes her way off the camera, you can tell it's definitely her. She doesn't look she looks a slight bit disheveled. I don't know
her
that
luggage doesn't have anything documentation on it, like perhaps she'd prepped it for a plane trip or anything of that nature.
There is in fact a visible tag on one of her pieces of luggage. The security camera itself does not have the resolution to really, like, you try to magnify it and it doesn't really give you a whole lot. It just it shows the Centron City mag rail symbol. That's all you can kind of make out with this level of resolution.
What would be the closest mag rail to here? That's probably where she would have went.
Let's see. That would probably be Centron Central Station 2.
Well, that is a lead to look at. Perhaps they would know more. I'm also interested I don't know if there's a way we can easily check that, but if she brought anyone to the apartment, in particular on the day she visited the Drake woman.
Okay, so that was the day that she checked in, when she visited the Drake woman. And yeah, you tell him to scan through to see if anybody visited her, or she brought anybody up. And yeah, there's one instance. I think it's the day before she checked out, of a pretty rough looking guy in a leather jacket with kind of long hair, making his way to her door and pressing the the chime button, and she opens the door a crack, and after a brief conversation she lets him in. Akron, you probably had the most interaction with this guy, although I think all of you saw him to some extent. This is definitely one of the guys who not only shot at you but was arrested.
Oh boy, has he seen me yet?
Looks like they got out of prison. Well, they said they were
Well,
let
this
on
is-
bail.
This is on security camera, Akron.
Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
Akron has a heart attack.
Yeah.
And he doesn't realize that he's looking 2 weeks into the past.
Oh god, the way I was thinking you just like showed up while we were doing this, I'm like, oh boy. No,
Actually, this is the same day, right? Yeah.
This
definitely gonna point
was
him out to the group.
this was the first. They got tentatively arrested on the 27th of the previous month. And you were told by Mr. Brashil that at least some of them got out on bail because they were not actively wanted for other crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them. Question
Yeah.
to this guy, because if he's still there,
Well, this is after they had been arrested. This is the 1st of April. You guys had your battle with him on March 27th. So this would definitely be after the arrest. So it seems like he got out.
right, so nothing there per se.
He gets let in, and he stays for like 4 or 5 hours, and then leaves. And yeah, that's the only visitor you see. But when he leaves, she looks a little bit kind of worried or concerned. Like she looks after him a little bit. She looks a little bit paler than her complexion would let on.
Hey, peeps might be after you. You fucked up.
Yep.
Give me 30 seconds to put it back again.
Anyone else have anything they want to look at here?
Can we pull up like records on this guy? Is that possible?
Do they have like a visitor log or anything of that nature?
Well, I mean, he was wanted. He was wanted by police. There would be a police log if anything. But
Yeah, you could find police logs. It wouldn't be from the same terminal.
It would be from here.
yeah.
If you
Just-
ask about visitor logs, the Riolan raises 2 of his tendrils in what is
I'm
a
actually
Riolan sort of shrug, and he says, "We allow free entry into the hallways. People cannot get into the rooms without being let in. So no, we did not have any guest log of this individual."
That's quite alright. I thought I would acquire.
Does this help you any?
I believe it may. I'm fairly certain this person was. I remember seeing a police log possibly about him. We may be able to get some more information there about him in particular. But the notion that she left by train should be most helpful. By rail. They still call it a train? Like a maglev or something in this.
Mag train.
It goes by several things: mag train, mag rail.
The
So you
Perhaps
guys
look
leave
there
the
next.
the hotel.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the
Uh,
hotel.
I thank him for his time as well.
So you guys leave. He walks you out and he says, "Happy to help. We like to keep our customers safe and secure here." There's like not the faintest bit of irony in his voice about how many hotels you guys have gotten shot up. And on your way out, Max is riding on your shoulder, Twitch, and he sees the Carthan girl and kind of raises one of his little legs and waves at her, and she waves back over the counter.
That's a Wally moment.
And you guys leave. So where are you going? You've got some information here. It seemed like she checked out on April the 2nd, and she had some sort of contact with one of these thugs that you had suspected that she had something to do with. Now, like you're pretty positive of it. You're still not quite sure of the relationship, but it didn't look forced. Maybe, you can't really identify that relationship right now. You also,
She knew this
you know.
person. That's the only relationship we know.
yeah, and you've got a couple things to go on. Like you've got the connection to Evelyn Drake. You've also got the theory that she might have taken the rail out of town. What do you want to do? aside from that, you've got this mysterious guy that you haven't really identified.
Well, does our security thing give us access to like criminal database or anything
Yeah,
like that?
it does.
Ooh, nice. I didn't realize that was a perk.
Like you basically get basic criminal databases for like the rank C license.
Have,
You
like,
know, people
image
who are
matching?
people who are actively wanted. You can just pull up that list and take a look. And yeah, you can if you have footage or an image of somebody, you can basically plug it into the database and see if it pops up with anybody. Do you want to go to like one of the local Centron security bureaus, or do you want to try to do this remotely?
I don't want to go there.
I guess we'll just try it remotely if they have that option.
Yeah. So like you have to jump through a lot of hoops to use it remote access, like from a mobile terminal of all things. You have to enter in like your license and then your ID, and then you have to fill out some forms and stuff, and it's basically all like their kind of preventative measures for hacking and stuff like that. But you eventually, I think after 20 minutes, get access to the database. And you feed this guy's image into the computer.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody roll me 1d. Well, advanced computers, but a lot of people live on this planet. Roll me 1d3.
I guess I will.
Okay. It takes 3 hours for this to come in, and like just from his image, if you're not entering in any sort of data for an advanced search or anything, but it eventually like matches his image to somebody. And I think you guys are probably waiting around in the car while this is happening. Are you guys, I guess, Akron, are you doing anything while this is happening? I know you thought about potentially investigating Evelyn Drake. You've got like some time to kill while Twitch is running this thing on his compad.
You know what? I might see if there's any links. If I can detect any financial links between the two or anything along those lines.
Between Drake and Areta?
Yeah. See if there's been any mysterious, deposits showing up.
Well,
in her
Areta has
account.
several deposits, or rather transfers out of her account. She doesn't have any deposits into her account. The transfers out are in sizable chunks for somebody of her income bracket, but they are to private accounts, and so you cannot access them like directly. You would have to hack further into the database to get them. Like, these are things that are normally not available to most bank officials.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to. I'm trying to think here. Are there any leads that I might be able to detect on her? Because right now, I'm thinking there's not much reason to go after her directly, even though I know what she is, unless Ray has a change of heart on the spray painted Yarble plan.
The caper of the spray painted Yarble.
I don't think that would go well, since the museum, or not the museum, but the zoo has probably reported that it's back in their custody by now.
Gotta get a baby Yarble. We kept one.
No.
No.
I don't think I'm gonna let you roll luck save for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just lay back. I'll probably keep back and let them continue the investigation this way. I'm trying to think of about a good way to potentially go after Drake, but I haven't come up with one just yet.
So are you guys doing anything? Like, you can drive around during this 3-hour period. It seems like part of the delay here is that you have a low priority license, and there's a lot of traffic through these databases.
That can be
So
expected.
you're kind of getting shuffled around a little bit. That and image recognition is a fairly, time-consuming process. Are you guys gonna drive to the train station to investigate that in the meantime, or?
Worth a shot. You can check to see if they got any leads on it. They may not keep records or that, but they may. We'll check.
So you guys make your way to Central Station 2. This notably
Is it
kind
two, as in the first one broke down, or is it the second such station?
of second station. This notably services the Blue Line. It's actually both yellow and blue. If you're looking at the maps, like they both overlap in the city.
Well, there's not much of a central station, really. They don't seem to have a central station.
The one marked closer to your warehouse is a very big one.
So what services the center of the island? There's just no train access to there?
Yeah, like the mag trains travel at such a high velocity that
like-
they literally need that much room to kind of turn.
Do they have, like, grav boats along that river from those other two stations?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like there's boats and submarines all across the water and stuff. In terms of surface travel on the center of the island, they have like mass transportation and trains and stuff, but they don't approach anywhere near the level of a mag train. Like the mag train is the primary mode of getting like far places.
I'm sorry, I derailed that a little bit. It just didn't seem like a whole. Like, I expect when I hear central station, it's just central to the line, not central to the island.
Yeah. And so you guys get to the station. You all get out of your car and go inside to continue the investigation.
Yeah,
You know what? I think I'm gonna get out and join everyone on the inside for sure.
Okay.
Anything from Ray in a while.
Is Ray present?
I haven't had anything in particular to say.
Okay. She's just mulling it over internally.
I kind of expected her to, like, pipe up with the Riolan guy, because he can speak Riolan, but... Is it raining now?
Probably discuss with Ray or with Twitch the fact that I'm positive that Drake woman is involved, but I don't know really what we can do about it until we
That
have
seems
some sort
quite
of
likely, and it's good information to have, but I don't think we should be just approaching her for... I doubt she'd answer any questions we have.
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna say that we need to find some sort of a link before we can deal with her.
Yeah. So you guys get into the station. It's pouring outside. You know that the northwest side of the island is definitely more at the mercy of the weather, and you're technically within the reconstruction zone, as it's now being called.
I was gonna ask that, because you said that, like, the searches have been called off, so I guess everyone's, like, just moving back in there now then?
Yeah. Most of the searches that were mentioned were like at sea. The red box was, the area of the heaviest damage, and I should mention that the box is kind of slowly shrinking a little bit. Station 2 has recently, been reopened in the last couple weeks. And yeah, you make your way inside.
We can probably clear a lot of those boxes, because most of them are from the hunt. The green one's the zoo,
Yeah.
but...
Yeah, well, I'll get around to that eventually. And you guys approach one of the desks. How do you respond to the sign saying back in 5 minutes?
With a pretty
I
hefty
suppose
sigh.
you wait.
and-
So you all sit around like one of the
I'm sure
nearby
there's benches
benches.
at the train stations.
Oh yeah, Yeah, there
Akron
definitely
will
is.
just sit down and zone out and stare into his AR goggles doing his thing.
There's not a whole lot of traffic coming through this station, whether it's simply because it's not as active as Station 1, or it's still in the reconstruction zone.
Yeah, I imagine much of their traffic is like reconstruction materials and that kind of stuff at this station.
Yeah, definitely. Several minutes later, not 5 minutes, but several minutes later, a human comes up into the desk from like a back room, into the little desk cubby. I don't even know what you call those. Like, it's a booth, I guess, and flips the sign, and he takes a long sigh, like, here we go again, and puts a smile on his face and gestures like for you guys to approach.
Hello. We're here seeking information about a passenger who may have taken a train from here about on the April the 2nd, I believe. We're looking into this as a result of a bounty on the police department's aspect. We have as a security license if you'd like to see that.
He definitely looks a little flustered, like he was ready for business as usual again, and this is not the normal thing. He stutters a bit, and he's like, sure. He, like, he lets you show him the license. Max glows into activity on your shoulder. He seems fairly ready to pop that license out, and yeah, he says, so what can I help you with again? I'm sorry, this is
We're looking for a woman by the name of
Yeah.
Almara Areta.
Oh. You want me to do a search to see if she came through here today?
Yeah, we believe she may have taken a mag train, and this is the closest one to where she was staying. So.
Okay. Yeah. He looks to you, and he's a younger guy, and he's like, clearly he thinks he's jaded from the job, and he's seen everything, and he's just flustered that there's something that he's never dealt with before.
Also, if you may have seen her, she looks like this, and I give him the picture of her.
He gives kind of like an appraising look for a few seconds.
I do
Nods.
know. I don't know how many people you've seen around here recently, but it was about 2 weeks ago. So.
Yeah, he says that that there was a seat registered on a blue line train several weeks ago to one Almara Areta. It was on the 2nd.
Do you know if she took the train and where it was going?
She seemed to have taken it in the morning, like maybe 10 o'clock. Our records are we're still trying to get the system back up.
Was a one-way ticket, or both ways?
One way. It looked like she was going to the first main stop, the one. Let's see here.
Do the trains typically run clockwise or counter, or do they run both?
They run clockwise. So she was going to the first major stop.
So the north one on the river?
Yeah, this one. He calls it like Tolman City. It's like a sub city of Centron City.
These like the red line. If she would take that, where would it eventually go? To like another big island, or?
Oh yeah, well, so the red line services a lot of the eastern hemisphere. We don't handle tickets for them, but we share the same database.
Can you get a reference to see if she perhaps purchased a ticket on their line?
He nods, and he brings up his
it probably
his
would have
records.
been if it makes a difference in your search, he probably would have made the purchase with cash.
Yeah, he notes that like the only thing linked to her name is just like a credit stick deposit, which has apparently been fairly common lately.
Crowd will be disappointed other people are using these two.
I guess we wouldn't call it
Makes it
cash.
pretty hard
Would we
to
just
track.
call it? Would it just be called credit basically then, or?
Like a credit
Credit
stick
sticks.
or a credit chip.
Yeah, is there a distinction between a credit stick and a credit card?
Like you don't actually have a credit card. What you do to make like purchases like that,
Like a bank card.
I'm trying to get like terminology.
yeah, there are no credit cards that link to your
Because
credit
it seems
account.
weird to be saying cash when they don't really use cash.
They
per
don't use
se.
cash. You could say credits, using credits. Like the distinction is credits are all digital. They're carried on credit sticks or credit chips, digitally, like they're loaded onto the stick. But mostly when you're not using that form, you are paying something with either your palm print or your like Compad ID, and it's linked to your credit account. There are no like credit cards as such that we use them, but like a credit chip would basically be a card loaded with credits.
Yeah, so it functions off basically gift cards and bank cards for the most part.
Pretty much.
Like one of those disposable cards you can load up with
Yeah,
cash.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which it's like a reloadable gift card. Those kind
Yep.
of things.
Yep.
And it's like an instantaneous thing that you can do at your own bank terminal. Like you don't have to have somebody load this for you or anything. It's just you basically plug the credit stick in and you can load it with credits if you want. Yeah, he says oh yes, it seems she bought a ticket to Torak Island. That's on the north line. And that's actually the
That one that's on the map, or is it off
Yep.
the map?
Yep, it's actually the very first one on the map. It's this one right here.
How badly was that one hit by the? I thought that one was hit really badly by the hurricane. Like how bad is that place off?
It was hit pretty badly.
Hurricane,
but
you know.
everything came from like the west / a little bit southwest from that point. Like the comet hit like a little bit southwest of Centron City,
It was Norek Island,
Torak Island.
aka where she's from.
Yes, somebody noticed that. And
My friend might suggest that see if anybody's up for another rail ride after our last experience.
you will note that it did have a pretty hard time, but the northeast corner of Centron Island and that kind of barrier island took a lot of the bite out of the storm. And the island itself was only down for like a week and a half or so.
It's worth noting, we are coming up on 4 hours. I don't know how long
Yep.
we want to run it, or
I think we can end it here. You guys have some pretty good leads for what sounds like
absolutely.
next session.
Sorry for those interruptions and being a little quiet for a minute.
It's
there,
fine.
Guys, just had stuff happening over this end.
Yeah, I think we know what we're gonna do for next session. Let's get into end of session stuff real quick. Akron, did you make a roll in the belief of unrestricted technology? Don't think so.
Don't believe I did that. In fact, I don't believe I did any of the things just yet.
Yes, that is true.
he made a lot of rolls in the downtime for unrestricted technology.
That's true. I'll give you one XP thing worth of belief in unrestricted technology for that, so you can mark 400.
Oh, thanks, man. That's a
That's a
good point,
good
by the way. I
point.
appreciate you bringing that up.
And definitely, when you have downtime next session and you want to go seek out some sort of back alley surgeon to start upgrading Akron, bring it up, because that's not something I can do. Let's see here.
I think I even put it in the downtime what kind of surgeon I want to look for specifically. So hopefully I'll be able to do that in the next downtime.
I'm going to give Marcus his 400 for getting the group registered for a security license. I was actually going to make that into an adventure last week and then this week, but it never happened. So we're just going to play that off as it happened in the background. Ray, endanger yourself to protect another. I think that happened.
Yes, that did.
I didn't put an XP for that. Let me come up with a good one.
I most definitely shoved Victor out of the way.
Yep, that came up really quickly. 300 XP for that.
I knew the minute you pushed me out of the way, I'm like, oh, nice. You actually got to endanger yourself this time.
Gotta catch them all. Capture a wanted creature using a Xenoball.
Didn't capture one, but it did aid in the
Well,
capture.
it depends how you voice that.
300 XP.
It
aided in the
was
kill.
netted. It just wasn't like, captured alive and turned in.
Yeah, that's fulfilled. You finally tested out the tracking round. Bravo. 100 XP for that. You've made some progress, like some actual progress towards trying to find a specimen. And whenever you get around to going to the zoo, there's a very high chance that you could get some potentially fortunate results there.
Well, I didn't want to take up everybody's time to go there for what is essentially a solo thing.
Yeah, that's fine. But we can do that during downtime or
Downtime and
something.
whatnot. That's why I did bring that up.
Twitch, psionics can get me out of any trouble.
I think so.
Give me an example. I have one in my head, but I want to hear what you think.
Well, the very first one in the session, at least as far as we needed rolls for with the escape ladder. I failed the roll, but
Yeah, that was your belief. It doesn't mean you have to succeed. Like, you trusted in your powers of psionics to get you out of that situation. So 150 for that.
God, my experience is a weird total.
Yeah. Clean slate. Resolve all of the zoo's bounties. 1,500 for that.
And my bubblegum round did not successfully live capture something, so...
Use shell to assist in a live capture. So 200 for that.
Okay.
You didn't have to capture it all by your lonesome.
Yeah, but we didn't capture that creature, we killed it.
Well, tomato. I'm not gonna count off for live capture. You tried. 150 for that one since it wasn't to the letter.
All right. Total's 83.25. How did I get a weird total? Did I have like one that was like 125 experience or something at one point?
I think you did.
Yeah. I'll have to put in a 75 in there sometime. So yeah, it looks like you leveled up.
Indeed.
I've been looking
Please
forward to
give
this
me
one.
more.
Plus 44 plus 1. I really
Yes.
want to see you have more than one hit shot.
Please tell me. 12!
Oh, that was actually a really kind of terrible roll, but we'll take it.
Better than 7.
It's better than 7.
Yep.
You could feasibly survive a pistol now.
Nice roll, man.
It's actually pretty average for a roll. We got 2 4s and then a 2 and a 1, so it comes out.
At least, yeah. At least you have a little more health.
All right.
It's not actually bad on 4d4.
44.
Like 1 point below average.
That's
So-
3d4.
I get 8 more psi points to use. And 2 more skill points.
Yeah, make sure you add your skill points there. Speaking of skill points, Foster, you have culture sector 14. I'm going to
Yes.
make that something that everybody gets, so you can refund yourself 1 point.
Precog goes up to 4, and I'm gonna raise Biostasis to 2, so I can now do Psionic Healing.
Basically, everybody gets culture their homeworld, and I'm going to say everybody gets culture sector 14 for being born here and living here. It's enough to give you general information about the sector, and then to attempt to communicate with species native to the sector. Yeah, everybody basically gets that one.
Swords and stuff is primitive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be looking into raising that to 0 with my remaining 2 at some point.
Just to fit your
My
profile
picture
pic.
slash, able to use my knife a little better.
Yeah.
You can throw grenades and stuff better too, and Xenoballs.
Yep. Yeah.
And I see you guys are up to 86,546 in your joint account. That's pretty respectable.
That's right, right? If it's not a class skill, it takes 2 to get 0. That's right, right?
There's a page that I can quickly look that up.
I think that's what it is.
Non-class skill, 2 points to get to 0.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do with those 2 points. Because it makes sense.
Would you chuck them in? Oh, you're going to put them in
I'm
combat.
gonna put them
primitive.
in combat primitive.
Okay, yeah, that works. So yeah, that was the session for today.
I finally got double digits on hit points. Yes.
I was really looking forward to that because every time I roll something, I'm like, am I gonna kill Cloud?
I have my last patch ready, Cloud.
Yeah, some of those creatures you actually battled had 2 attacks, and I was really sweating it on those when you were close.
Yeah, that double claw
There is
surprised
a
the hell
very
out of
good
me.
reason I took precog as
Yeah, I
primary.
was waiting to pull that one out because you guys had thus far never encountered something with 2 attacks, and that one I knew was going to
That
be
was
an
nasty.
unwelcome surprise.
So what does precog
Well,
4 give me?
If
next,
that
next level will be really nice because then I'll
If that
actually
had hit-
get an attack bonus.
If that had hit Cloud, he would have been dead because that was 7.
Yep,
That was exactly 7 points. It would have ripped you to shreds.
I would have had to pull out my last patch that I carry around.
Yeah.
This is interesting because at this level I get precog 4, which is Destiny's Shield. Very much an all or nothing type of skill.
Sometimes I consider getting armor for Akron, but
Precog
So-
senses
Haven't
incoming
yet.
attacks and instinctively moves to avoid them. This power can be triggered after a successful enemy hit and forces a reroll of the attack. Using this power clouds the precognitive's responses of alternate possibilities, however. If the second roll is also a hit, the damage done is the maximum possible.
Yeah.
Ooh,
What
that's
if
a
you
risky
what
one.
if you were gonna
But,
die
yeah,
anyway?
It's the kind of thing like if you get hit by a tank cannon, it gives you a chance at living through it.
Yeah, the thing is, if you think you're gonna die from it, that's not a bad thing to use.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you're not going to use it if someone hits you for like 2 damage, but if it's
No.
going to kill you anyways, it's worth taking the shot at it.
All right, so we're not gonna have downtime in the next session because we're gonna be picking up right where we left off. So no activities needed for that. I do want to kind of broach the subject of to save us time during a session because I've given you guys several times in sessions where it just seemed like
I really
unless
liked
I
being
forced-
thrown into it.
I'm going to
Yeah.
stop
I'll
the
note
recording,
that.
by the way.
yeah, so unless I